Uh. Ba 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 rain, ba ba rain, yeah. Ba 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 rain. Why does my art station always log me out? Also, I must have bit apart my tongue, possibly in my sleep. Got a direct message from somebody? No, I don't. It's just telling me about a message I got. Wait, spam. Hello. Hello, Steven. Your art was well received and appreciated by our team. Invited to a new game development. Upon completion of the interview, we are open to assessment your suitability for any position that aligns with your skills and experience. Please invest some time in reviewing our work samples, conveniently accessible via. How much spam have I got? I didn't even realize there was a spam section. You're awesome. Thank you. We invite you to collaborate with Design Disney Arena. Hey there, Stephen. Our business admires your masterpiece at Playrix Games. Bring you a new video game development job listing, junior, middle, senior. Where? So I think this is actually, that one's just spam. It's just asking me to apply for the position. This was not how the start of the stream was supposed to go. Oh, this wasn't planned. I didn't realize this was for some reason all my decals are green. First time I've been. Is this really? Oh no! I went on the PC earlier. So is this really the first time I've been on the PC? It's like midnight. I'm usually on the PC every single day. This is such a late stream. I don't even think anyone's going to show up, which means I can talk about absolute garbage. YouTube chat. My throat's again really bad today. Weirdly enough, last stream was really bad, and today it's really bad. It's probably lack of drink today, though. I drank a little bit. Oh, I was going to make a coffee. I might run and go do that. Halfway through the stream. Professional streamer, by the way. Channels. Jenny. Videos. TV kill the radio star. I don't know why that came to mind saying the word videos. Am I not streaming right now? There you go. Making the 3D arts with new scene. That's fine. We're just going to be doing, if we get any work done, it's quite late. We're just going to be doing very basic stuff today anyway. UV mapping mostly. Wait. Valve tricked me and I'm so happy. Linus. Why did... Whatever. Copy link. We want to go to chat. We want to go to announcements. My shoulder hurts again for some reason. At everybody. Everyone. I should really set this up to do this automatically. I've been saying that for literally the last, 4 to 5 years of streaming, and I still haven't done it. Because it wasn't, like, obvious. Even though everyone else has it set up, I looked it up and I just didn't understand how at the time. Wait, so what was this one? Oh, saving your artwork was well received. Well received by who? There's no... Oh, there. Please invest some time in reviewing our work samples conveniently accessible via the following link. So, put some low file on so your guys aren't not You guys aren't not listening to nothing? That was not the correct way to say that sentence. We're sorry we can't prove it. Oh, it's a download link. There's never will enable you to gain a deeper understanding of our artistic style and the exceptional quality of our work. Arming you for an insightful interview discussion. Thank you for your time. We look forward to hearing from you soon. I'm not going to download a brand. I mean, I could, but I'd need to check for viruses. It's a RAR file. Heck yeah. That was a very. That is 100% a virus. That's like 1.8 megabytes. Can you open RAR files without like seeping in the virus? %100% virus. It doesn't say it's a virus, but it's so low in size. I'm not trusting that. Get out of here. Get out of here. I mean, it's a reason it's labeled as spam. Oh, someone liked my work. Yay. You know, this piece is like really interesting. I can't believe I'm saying that about my own piece. This piece of work looks really good. I'm not saying it looks good. I'm saying it's interesting. What is this? Some sort of night stream? It is. Don't make a VM. Just don't ask me how. How? Anyways, this piece is really interesting because look how different it looks rendered in like Unreal versus being rendered in. I think this definitely looks better here, right? Versus. I mean, that looks more gamey. That looks like it belongs in a game, where that looks like it's like a render, I feel like. Bought a bunch of stuff for Japan. Bought mostly clothes. I say bunch, it cost me like 90 quid. For some people, that's like barely anything of clothes. But I bought like contact lenses. I actually want to try one of those on. So you're going to witness me trying on new contact lenses. Who's messaging me? Alright, let's try one of these out. I've been playing Salt and Sacrifice with a friend, but man, it's so bad. Is it? Is that the one that's like the 2D Dark Souls? I think did I have it for free on Epic? Did I? There you go. I don't like Epic Launcher at all. The first one was good. Wait, there's the first one? What's this one? Salt and Sacrifice. What's the first one? Salt and Sanction. Sanctuary. Oh. Oh, wait, was it originally on Epic? Oh, you know what? What's free? Store. What we got? We got Golden Light. What the heck is this? Wait, what the heck is this? What? Oh, this looks so weird. I can't tell if it's bad graphics or intentional. I'm going to assume intentional. That's my left eye. That's my right eye. These prescriptions are a bit weird. Because it rounded down my left eye. No, rounded up my left eye, but rounded down my right eye for contact lens prescription. Because it's a very specific prescription. It's like a 3.87 on my right eye. You know what I found out, though, recently? We're already on a tangent, which is great. Wait, I want to check if I had salt and sacrifice before. Salt. And sanctuary, sorry. Oh, I do. Wait, what did I find out recently? Oh. What is considered legally blind? Visual acuity is considered legally blind. So, prescription minus 2.5 or lower, which is weird. Does it not count for farsighted people in like the other direction? Which is crazy because I'm 4.5 here and 4 here. I'm almost double that in one of my eyes. I thought legally blind was like like -7. Like what? I love the term legally blind. It sounds really funny. Can't you see I'm legally blind? So we're gonna wear one now. I'm going away soon, but I don't want to take a pair with me because they're monthlies, and they're not be very good. I've bought this type before, the Bio Infinity to infinity and beyond. -4 in this one. -4. 4.5. If you're squeamish about people touching their eyes. 4. I mean, my like eyesight. I can't sit in this computer and work. Like that's how bad my eyesight is. Like this is what I can touch my screen from here. Can't read anything on my screen. Like if I zoomed in, I could. Whoa. I can't see what percent. I'm max zoomed, and I'm struggling. Like this is look, so I can see that. That's hard to see. Harder. I could probably make that out. What prescription is considered legally blind? Legal blindness is defined as 20/200 vision. 14? 14? 14? Yeah. Oh. 14. The prescription equivalent is minus 2.5. One more from that. Might be able to just made that out. I can't read that anymore. So what zoom are we got? 150 zoom on a 1080p. Can't read it. It's weird. I'm probably the worst eyesight in my family. Most of my family wear glasses. That's 7 of us. My twin brother doesn't, weirdly enough. My twin brother's got great eyesight. I think he's supposed to be wearing glasses for reading, but not necessary. Like, it'll just help. Is it in there? Oh, it is. I just can't get it out. There you go. If you're squeamish about people touching their eyes, look away. Damn, Zuma, just one of my family members. Just one of them, wow. So my mum is supposed to wear them, but she doesn't. So she can't be that bad. I wouldn't be able to function in general without glasses. Like, my left eye, where's my phone? My left eye is the worst of the two. Not by much, though. 4 and 4.5. Okay, so... let's go to my emails. I have to be this close to read my emails. There, I can't read it anymore. So there. I don't know how much you guys can see that. Can't read that. I can read it. So here, it's really sharp. I actually remember my teacher, my pharmacist. Nope. Not psychologist. Optician. That's the word. What? You blind? I'm super blind. My optician, I thought I said it wrong again. He He said my eyesight's amazing when I have correction. He was like, wow, you've got really good eyesight. And I was sitting there like, what? Like, I've had the worst eyesight ever. And he was like, I didn't say that, obviously. And he was just like, when it's corrected, you've got really good eyesight. I was like, oh, right, okay. Because like, apparently my eyesight up close is really, really good. And when it's corrected, my eyesight's really, really good. But when it's not corrected, it's bad. It's still good up close because I'm short-sighted, which means I can see up close. Get some spares for your trip. I have spares. I can show you. Wait, spare contact lenses or spare glasses? Because I'm going to take both. Spare of both. Wow, this is really hard to grab. In the other case, or the case you put them in, it's actually not too bad. So, you should always check your lens before putting it in, because sometimes you'll put it inside out. And the way to tell... I don't think the camera will pick this up, so I'll just show. So, it's like a bowl. But if you have it inside out, it's like a bowl, but it slightly flares out. In fact, I'll make a 3D model and I'll show you. So, I sort of wiggle it. I press it and then move it a little bit, and it's sort of locked into place. Ah! So, the liquid's going everywhere, and I don't have a bin in here, so... we'll throw that away later. I've got a nice big tub of the liquid you put in the case. Because I buy monthlies. Because in here. I'm really good at math problems when people give me the answers. Yeah, pretty much right. That's what it sounds like. Steve is an ordinary guy, but when he puts on his glasses, he becomes Steve with good eyesight, pretty much. It was so funny. It was just like, you've got really good eyesight. Huh? I remember when I first got my contact lenses. Oh. Thought there was a tiny bit of dust in that contact lens when I put it in. I can feel something. I remember when I first got the contact lenses. It was like, okay, put them in. Now take them out. When you take them out, you press onto it. Not that hard, but you press onto it and then you sort of pinch like that. So you press, pinch, right? And it basically, you're sort of squeezing it between your two fingers and you pull it off like that. So you pinch, pull. And that's how you get the contact lens out. And she was like, okay, take them out, put them back in. Take them out, put them back in. Take them out. But it was the first time I used contact lenses. My eyes went red. Obviously, because I'm poking my eye over and over again. And she was like, oh, you know, your eyes are going red. I don't know if that's a good sign. I was looking at her like, I was like a 14-year-old or whatever. I can't remember how old I was. And I was looking at her like, oh, of course they're going red. Like, what? Yeah, punch your leg. All right, punch your leg again. All right, punch your leg again. Oh, it's getting a bit red in that area. Yeah, I'm punching my leg. It was just so random. I'll probably bring the entire box just in case I lose some. Do they still do maximum liquid volume for flights? Oh. I didn't even think of that. Contact lens liquid for flight. You're allowed to fly with sealed disposable contact lens blister packs in both your luggage. You can also pack non-disposable lenses in a small amount of solution, usually no more than 100 milliliters. Uh-oh. This is 300. Uh-oh. There was 100 in there too, but I was just like, oh, I'll get the bigger bottle. Contact solution falls under the TSA definition of medical liquids, which means you can bring on more than 3 ounces. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what 3 ounces are. 2 milliliter. 5 milliliters. Only liquids under 100 volt. No. Someone said here they travelled with 9 bottles and there was no issue. Jesus Christ, 9 bottles. Okay, No, this isn't a sorry moment. This is good. There's so many small things I've had to notice. I'm like, wait, like the luggage size is different for the coach than it is for the flight, which means I have to take smaller Suitcases. Of course, we're 18 eyes, exactly. I mean, to be fair, you can... They don't recommend it. You're supposed to use clean liquid every time you put it in, but you can get away with using the same liquid, but not for an entire month. That's a long time to not replace the liquid. That's asking for an infection. I'm going on Japanese airline contact lens liquid solution. Carry on baggage allowance. Can I bring liquids into the cabin? Restrictions. Restricted liquids. All drinks are restricted. So is this all restricted, or is it saying stuff I can bring? The contact solution is there on this particular fight. When you are... Oh, I do. I have to... I bought the bigger bottle on purpose. Now I gotta go back and buy the smaller bottle. What a waste. Bro. Come on. You're allowed to bring maximum 100 ml of any of the above liquids into the cabin with you. The maximum amount of liquid in total that you can carry is 1 liter. What? So if I wanted to, I could take 10 100 milliliter bottles. Liquid must be placed in individual 100 milliliter containers. Okay. Larger containers, even if only partly full, are not usually accepted. All 100 milliliter containers must fit into a clear resealable plastic bag. Oh. Wait, I can't... It has to be in a plastic bag, even on your carry-on, but your carry-on is in a backpack anyway. I can make a pretty good boomer with 10 100 milliliter bottles. Ah. It didn't even cross my mind. I've got some old one here. I got to throw this one away. This has been sitting out for a while. I think it says up to 6 months you can have it open for. That's also 300 milliliter. That's 360. So I need to go back and buy a 100 milliliter bottle. Okay. And it's going to be in a clear... Bro. My friend did send me a link of all the regulations. Carry-on baggage. So here it is. All the carry-on baggage here. 2 pieces of carry-on baggage. Maximum dimensions. I can have 2 pieces. What? Oh, it was only 1. Oh, members. Right. And passengers can take 1. Okay, yeah. 50, yeah, my bag's more than that. 56 centimeters by 45 by 25. One person's items such as a small handbag, small laptop bag, or small backpack. Wait. Oh, is that additional? Oh, yeah, you can have an additional small backpack. Wait. Maximum of only 8 kilograms. I swear I said 10 kilograms to begin with. 8 kilograms is very light. Let's check that now. Japanese airline carry on weight. 10 kilograms. Wait. Yeah. Wait, everyone's saying different things. Yeah, see, this is what I've seen. You get 2 23s, which mine's going to be smaller and lighter than that anyway, because it has to be smaller and lighter for the coach. And one of this one up to 10 kilograms. 1 piece of carry-on with dimensions of that, plus 1 small personal item. The total weight of 2 bags must not... Right. So you could take 2 separate bags. 1 piece of... carry-on dimensions and 1 personal one. Right, so I guess if you're like a woman and you want a purse, for example. I mean, guys don't... I guess you could have like one of those like chest bags. Or a bum bag. And a backpack. They can't exceed 10 kilograms. Then why does this other site... I like how we're just like looking at Japanese. My bag legit looked like it was full of boom boom stuff. Boom boom. Oh, loads of wires and random devices, just generally full of jank. I remember the guy at the scanner looked at me, looked at the bag, then nodded and let me through. But look, carry-on allowance, business class, passengers and Fin Air Plus Platinum, whatever that means, 2, maximum of 10, but then it here says 8. Eight kilograms is nothing. So if I got to do anything special then, to store smooth traveling, please place large items of carry-on bags such as trolley bags in the overhead, so I won't need to do that. Well, I could do, it's fine, because it's just a bag. Personal items such as handbags, laptop bags, and shopping bags under the seat. It might fit under the seat. Jackets and coats can be hung up on the hood seat, yep. I'm gonna IR go Japan. So all liquid, yeah. So the liquids. So this is their website, yeah. So maybe it's only 8 kilograms. I mean, I want to bring my Switch. All my, like my toothbrush and everything are all gonna go in my carry-on. My chargers. I want to bring a controller. Because I just in case we want to sit in one day and to play games because I'm going with my friend. And just in general because I might just want a game, like long day, and I just want to sit there for a couple hours playing a game. Especially if I buy some games. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Steam Deck, Switch, my tablet. I need to take some adapters. I could put the adapters in the luggage, to be fair, right? They don't have to go into carry-on, I don't think. Some wires. Which they'll be light. I don't need to worry about wires. I mean, that's mostly it, right? Because all the toiletries like shampoo. Well, shampoo can go in the luggage. God, I need to sit down with my friend and discuss all this. He had a list, and he said he couldn't find it. And I was like, oh, I might make my own. My suitcase comes tomorrow. See, here it says 10 kilograms, but to be fair, I kind of want to trust their main website. But 8 kilograms is a significant... 2 kilograms doesn't sound like a lot, but when the bag itself is probably weighing like 1 kilogram. So, yeah, the class is restricted liquids, so I can only carry 100 milliliter. That's interesting. Oh, same with the deodorant. Oh, so you could take deodorant cans. I didn't know that. I got roll-on for the flight. I've never used roll-on before. It's weird. I think there's a thing about bringing liquids. I think there's a thing about bringing liquids in luggage, like something to do with the pressure in the bag. Some liquids will leak, may have. Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it in my bag anyway. I think they don't like liquids at all in your luggage, I think. Sharp objects you can't bring, of course. Matches and lighters. Lithium batteries. Over 100 watt hours. Oh, okay. Wait. How much is that? That just means that... Oh, wow. The Steam Deck is only 40. That makes sense, yeah. Okay, yeah. Nothing's going to be over 100 then. Lithium metal batteries. Not going to be taking lithium metal batteries. Okay. Baggage. Here you go. Baggage girl with suitcase. With a suitcase. So we want to look at checked baggage. Oh, yeah, checked baggage is the one. 2 pieces of baggage, 2 pieces. If your flight ticket is marked with the code, you may take 2. Yeah, I can take 2 pieces. I've already looked at it. There's some of the external dimensions. Yeah, I don't even need to worry about that because mine's going to be smaller regardless. Hold on a minute, 158. 1 piece of baggage can be no greater than 158. That sounds lower than what I remember. Oh. Japanese airline baggage allowance. Yeah. Why is everyone saying different things? If you go to this website, I'm seeing 200. I mean, I think because I've got medium-sized luggage or suitcases anyway, it doesn't make a difference, but I'm just confused why I'm seeing different things on different sites. Because you'd think this site, which is literally jiao.co.jp, which is literally Japanese, because it's Japanese airline. I don't know the JL. What's the L stand for? Every bag charge applies a piece of baggage weighing more, yeah. Jesus, that is big. You can have, if you pay more, you can have a very big one. It needs to be in a clear case. So what needs to be in a clear case? Like the liquid? What needs to be in a clear bag at the airport? If you take liquids in your hand luggage, containers must hold more. Containers must hold no more than 100 milliliters. Containers should be in a single transparent resealable plastic bag, which holds no more than 100 liter and measures around 20 centimeter by 20 centimeters. Contents must fit comfortably inside the bag so it can be sealed. So that can be in your bag though, right? You can have that transparent bag in your backpack. Okay, so because I have a bag for all my toiletries, but it's not transparent. But I guess I could put the bag in that bag. I mean, it's the only liquid I think I'm taking. Resealable transparent bag. Oh, 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter. There you go. Oh, wow. That's not very helpful. Airport security clear liquid bag. That doesn't look big enough. Is that big enough? $4.95. Yeah, I mean, it looks fine. Probably ordered that one. Let's just quickly check. 100 pack. I only need one. 10 pack. Oh, that's lower. You probably buy one at the store to be fair, but yeah, it's fine. I bought socks that didn't fit me. For some reason, I forgot socks had sizes on them. I just saw man socks and I was like, they'll do. And I picked them up and I got home and I was just like, oh, they're size 6 to 8. I'm like, I'm a size 9 to 11 or whatever the size is. So, oh, I just assumed they stretch. I didn't really think about it when I picked them up. I never buy socks. I always get them for like birthdays and Christmas. If I were you, I'd just put shampoo, shower gel, and toothpaste. Wait, how big are my shower gel bottles? They can't. Wait, no, that's not restricted liquid. Was it? Oh, it is. Oh, how big's my bottles? I have a second suitcase. Where the zips? This has to be 250. It didn't cross my mind that I had to limit those things. My friend hasn't brought it up. I keep saying to people, like, if you've got any advice on traveling, people don't... I guess people just assume, they forget that these things are probably more obvious if you travel. So I need 100 milliliter. Oh my god. Very annoying. I mean, I could buy it in Japan, but I just thought it'd be convenient to have some shampoo with me. And shower gel. Wow. These are really expensive online for some reason. All of them are 250 milliliter. Just buy it there. You think so? You think it just don't worry about it and get it when I'm there? You're probably right. I mean, I'm going to use that shampoo when I get home anyway. It's not like it's going to go to waste. It's just, I bought it like, oh, I'll be prepared. I didn't think about that. I mean, I could technically buy liquid there. But I'd rather take that with me because if I somehow spill the liquid out and then I really need to take my contact lenses out, I don't have anything to put it in, you know what I mean? So I'd rather have that on hand. Yeah. Man, I didn't even... it didn't cross my mind. I was like, you could take shampoo and stuff, surely. And I saw online that you could. Does this count as a liquid? A roll-on? I mean, they wouldn't specify spray cans, right? Because it's technically liquid in there. Does it not say milliliter on there? 50 milliliter. I guess I'll put that in a transparent bag as well. I'll order the transparent bag. It'll come in tomorrow. Oh, wait. Ah, it's already past midnight. No. Where did my Amazon go? Did I close it? Please check out. So many small expenses. It's surprised how much is adding up. But it's something you'd have. If I ever traveled again, I'd have all these small things. I'm curious if I can get a same-day delivery. Because I'm going to do my packing mostly tomorrow. So I'd rather get the transparent bag ASAP. Is there a get it tomorrow? Ah, I need to get it tomorrow option. Okay, it's fine. Bye now. I don't use deodorant, wouldn't know. Hate the stuff. I assume that's a lie. You know what, though? People judge me really hard. Because I say to them, if I'm home alone and I'm not leaving the house, I won't usually put on deodorant. And that blows people's minds. And I'm just like, but... Especially if I've showered that morning, I'm just like... There's no way I'm going to be like... I mean, I'm not going to smell myself and be like, oh... Well, I don't. I don't smell myself very often and go, oh... When I go to the gym... and I didn't shower that day, I can sort of smell myself, so I usually put on... Well, when I go out, I usually put on deodorant anyway. But I make sure to put on deodorant then, because I can definitely smell myself when I go to exercise. But when I'm home alone, and I know nobody's going to see me, I don't usually put on deodorant. I wonder how often common that is. I don't put on the... I'm home alone. Apparently deodorant isn't as common in Japan anyway. No, I say that common in Japan. That's what my friend told me. I really haven't used the stuff since I was like 16 and a half, but I don't really smell. Not that you do. I think most people I know don't use it either. Really? Wow, I always get the opposite reaction. Again, I can't tell it because I get the opposite reaction so much. I can't tell if you're being serious. Yeah, less common for people to use deodorant in Japan. So it doesn't say they don't use it. You don't use it either. Oh, my boys. You guys make me feel much more welcome, because sometimes when I pop to the shop, I don't put it on either. They don't have earwax. What? You know what? I should have swapped to my other. We've just been talking. Oh, I've actually brought up some websites though, but I should have like brought up this one. My throat's terrible today. Not only that, I must have bit my tongue at some point, because there's like a bump there that's sore. I'm like, ugh, and I can feel it as I'm talking. I could put it in the background and moving thingy. My setup's so bad. I just don't know what I want it to look like. Oh yeah, that like the waxy substance called Kiramin. I'm just reading, making sure I haven't missed anything in their chat. Yeah, I have to say I'm not that much of a deodorant guy, not as some people seem to be. Maybe one day they'll invent dual monitor streaming. That'd be pretty, well, as in you put it on dual monitors. Technically, I could show dual monitors, obviously. Okay, let's actually swap back. I should do a shortcut that swaps back from the two. So we're unwrapping it right at the moment. Yeah. Is this all one thing? We've got the door. You know what? I was watching Andrew Price do some modeling stuff, and he was doing a bunch of stuff that I do when I model. For example, he was like talking about a banister in his literally latest video. He recreated the Family Guy living room. I was like, that's convenient. Yeah, he was like talking about doing like a banister thing. You know, like you've got the rail, like the poles, the pillars. You know, like how they sort of do this thing where they like, how was he doing it? He was like doing this. He was like saying, don't do it like this, where you're doing it like by hand. He said instead, so like that, and then down. He went, don't do it like this because it won't be perfectly even and stuff. He said instead, just do 2 points. So do this, and then bevel it. And I was like, yeah, that's how I do it. I was like, yeah. Because a lot of what I do is pretty self-taught. So I come up with my own ways to do things a lot of the time. And sometimes I'll see... I say that. It's a mixture of randomly seeing someone do something and coming up with ways to do it myself. But yeah, when I come up with my own way of doing something and I see someone else do it, especially someone who's way better than me, like Andrew Price, I'm like, yeah... What did you think about that? What? Button tip / add-on. The what? Only for chads that have dual monitors, people that don't have to choose a screen to watch. Oh, I have 3 monitors. I don't think I could live without 3 monitors. Well, I say it. That's obviously an exaggeration. I would survive with a single monitor, but it would definitely be much more difficult than I'm used to. Good channel. Wait, you sent me your channel. Oh, shorts. You sent me a short. It didn't actually show the short. The cooker dial. Hold on a minute, I'm more confused. Oh, wait, what? What? Why did... When I clicked your link originally, it went to your channel. It went, yeah, there's like a Go channel section. That's weird. Why did they do that? That was super weird. Okay, yeah, that's always annoying when that happens. I was going to show the other way to do it. Okay, okay. Is that audio? And I'm just... Oh, where is
the unFCK function, you can then move left and right to change how much you want this to be resolved.
That's pretty
allowing
cool.
You to maintain that natural curve that you wanted. In Blender, a common issue with insetting a face is when you overshoot on the curved edge.
Yeah, why did it take me to your channel specifically as well? Oh, I guess it's because I think it just bugged out because it's like if you click on your comment and then click go to channel, but I think when I clicked it, it did that instead.
It will merge them at the center. Though this has several problems, as a number of these edges are now not going to be at 90 degrees.
I have like no plugins in my Blender, and I probably should because there's a lot of quality of life ones you could use. Just checking the... Oh, I was just moderate replying to Sky's Toast. The Sky's Toast has become such a good artist. I know he's had a lot of tutoring, and obviously paying for tutoring and getting professionals to help you learn faster is obviously going to be very helpful. There's not to put down anything that he's put the effort in, though, obviously. But he's really improved. I can't remember how good he was when he first started, but he's definitely improved, which is like really fast too. I had an interview today, and I was like, it's really interesting to talk to people who don't know about the job you actually do. And he was actually asking questions about it. I wasn't just bringing up what I do for fun. It was fun though. I like talking about what I do, but I sort of explained everything that you do as a 3D artist to him, and he was like, "Oh, this is like a crash course on being a 3D artist." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a little bit." But yeah, I just basically explained to him everything you sort of go through being a 3D artist and the way that you've got to interpret different things. For example, when you're making something for a video game, you have to do different things with that than you would. I've actually had this conversation a couple of times in a couple of interviews, and they're always very happy to hear this. In fact, it's actually something they're really excited for me to... Well, this person didn't know much about 3D modeling in general. He was sort of asking questions because he was just intrigued. But in like another interview, they get very happy when you explain to them, or you basically make it obvious that you know that... How do I explain this? So when making a 3D model, you have to worry about how that 3D model is going to be used and where it's going to be used, right? So when you're making something for a video game, there's... Why did this unwrap so poorly? I feel like I'm going mental here. Yeah. Seam. What if I did like that? It bends. Why does it bend like this? What? You're telling me it really doesn't like just mark... Because I marked that seam. Yeah, so in a previous interview, I'd say stuff like... And I was explaining in my recent interview. I'll say stuff like, oh yeah, when you think about... He stops the... Yeah, no, but why... What I don't understand is why it's not at least mirroring. Well, this one isn't trying to do that because I've cut it. But why... I would have thought they would have both done that. But this side is giving me a way better... This side's more like this. Like, I would have assumed that it would have at very least attempted to mirror it. Like something more like this. Oh. What? Why is that not deselecting? Because it's not a edge, that's why. Right. I'd have thought it would have attempted to do a result that matched that side, but instead it's just like, nah. Wait, what? That is that. Oh, right. Now let's do edge then. Oh, really? That button, that button, that button, that button. There you go. Because that's a way better unwrap. Even if it gets a little bit warped, that's a significantly better unwrap. Oh, it's not straight at all though. Which is kind of what the other side did. So that's why I was a little confused to why one side unwrapped significantly better than the other. Right? That's basically the same as that side now. That's a bit weird. Anyways, yeah, and I'd say stuff like, when modeling something, and I remember talking about this actually in my job to my concept artist, because my concept artist said something like, oh, no, why didn't you make the castle like the way I drew it? I made it more warp. And I've showed this before when I modeled a castle and it was warping out. And it comes down to the purpose of what you're making, and sometimes there is no way to make something that is concept. Like you guys have seen it when I work from concepts. I got to make changes because either it just doesn't work in a 3D space, or there's like just some issues. But it becomes even harder when you're trying to make it an actual playable space, because a playable space means a character has to stand on that surface, which means the surface can only bend so much before it's not a surface the character will be able to stand on. So you got to think about stuff like that as well. And I was just basically talking about that kind of stuff, and he seemed pretty intrigued. He may have just been being nice, but it was nice being able to talk about the work I do, you know. If I remember that again, it's going to get all messed up. But that's good enough. Uh-oh. Oh, it's not that high poly, so that shouldn't have mattered anyway. What? Why didn't it? What? There you go. What are you thinking for texture style? I don't know if I'm going to replicate what it is or do something different. Now, am I going to get this done before I actually go away? I should have done, but I've been very lazy lately, and I just had so many things pop up, like interviews and stuff, that I've just not really been into it, and my sleep has been terrible. But I was thinking, do I just make it look like the original? Or do I make something else? I mean, something that people keep complimenting my art station for recently is that I make my work look like the concept art. So I kind of like the idea of keep doing that, but equally, I could go wild and do something different. So it's really hard. I don't know yet. You'll be very unhappy. Wait, what? This looks like I'm peeking. You'll be very unhappy if I do streams in Japan on my Steam Deck. Why is that? I thought he was gonna say you'll be happy. This is peaking so much. I know I'm gonna sound quieter now, but oh, if you don't, sorry, I'm blind. It is late. I didn't even think of doing that, but I bet OBS it probably does work on Linux. The strange laws of physics don't make sense, pretty much. It's funny, because that's something else I was saying, because I was asked today, oh, I look how small that image is in the bottom left. I was asked today, I could stream on my phone, but I can't do 3D modeling, but I could like go around Japan and show things. I was asked today, oh, you know, you're a 3D artist, did you originally start off with 2D? And I was like, no, that's why I'm a 3D artist, because I struggled to do things in 2D. Whereas 3D felt a lot more flexible, and I actually felt like I could do things in 3D because of that flexibility. And then I went for a whole rant of, I like how I've got weird stuff at the bottom. I've got Ram and Rem there from ReZero, and I've also got Peel Off Your Skin, Lightning McQueen. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, I became a 3D artist because I can't do those things. And it was interesting because a lot of people do assume, I don't know if he made this assumption necessarily, but a lot of people do assume just because you're a 3D artist, you could do all forms of art. And it's a huge misconception, because that's just not how it works. In fact, I don't know many 3D artists that could draw very well. I'd say maybe 30%, maybe 20% of my course could draw and do 3D art, and then the majority couldn't really draw. I'd rather have you streaming on Discord than in Japan, huh? Maybe I'll do it. I'm with a friend. If I was going on my own, I'd probably do it a lot. But I don't want to like disturb us like just chilling by going, all right, I'm gonna go on stream now and talk to people on stream, and he'd be like, no, we're hanging out, like what? So I'm a little bit like I'm not sure, because I'd love to, but yeah, I don't want to really disturb my friends. Do I want to do it like that? I'm just trying to think of different ways to do this, because I could do this. Pull that towards, and then just merge that. Having a better point. Well, I should really do both sides when I do that anyway. What if the better way to do it is just to do that? No, because I got to do that anyway. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. So we'll see. I really should. I mean, at the end of the day, it's something that's going to be a very unique stream on my channel. Like, look, we're in Japan. We're doing things in Japan. Equally, I'd be so awkward. What about you guys? Being in Japan, a lot of really good ZBrush artists say they try and practice 2D so they can get better at the art vision, but they also say they're terrible at it. I think the thing is as well, most people who say, because there's actually an Andrew Price video on it as well, and it does help, right? Because it's more learning the fundamentals than it is actually drawing 2D. It's just learning what those fundamentals in 2D, how they could transfer over to 3D. But the thing is, oh, I've got these as well. If I do 30. Yeah, that's fine. The thing is you've got the oh, I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? It's an Engon, I know, but the thing I see more often than not is whenever people talk about it, yeah, you know, 2D art, you know, it can be very important. Hey, Adam, being a 2D artist can be very important if you're a 3D artist. Yeah. You know, you can use it like when making characters. I'm like, no, that's a different field entirely. You know, now I've made a character. I've actually made two, but character art tends to be a completely different discipline. You can go on separate university courses just to do it. Yeah, I can't draw. Yeah, thank you, Adam. It's funny when people assume you can. Yeah, exactly. People hear the term artist, even with 3D in front of it, 3D arts, and they just think you can draw. But the thing is, it's like, yes, it might be transferable for watch me draw a man, and it'll, yeah, exactly, I'm the same way. If I mimic something, I'm not too bad. Like, I'm looking at something and I kind of try to draw it. I'm not terrible, but I definitely can't draw anything from mind. Just make your own cheese for the pizza. Exactly. Yeah, that's sort of the idea, isn't it? But yeah, people, whenever people talk about it, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a subject like this. Whenever the subject's brought up, they then will, well, when I would look it up online, it's like conversations I'm having with people. They then will, like, compare it to the same thing every single time. I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. And this is another scenario. Yeah, so for character art... No. I'm not talking about drawing for character art. I'm talking about, do you need to draw if you're an environment artist, a prop artist? And they don't seem to touch on that in these videos and in these things. They always just bounce it straight over to character art. I'm like, yeah, it can be useful to character art, especially if you're the person designing the character, because that's a different thing entirely. So it's just, yeah, it's funny thing that you tend to see online when people compare it, and it is funny when you have to explain to somebody that you can't draw, and they're like, well, you're an artist, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I am an artist, but I'm not a 2D artist. I hear lots of things, actually. Like, some people, it was funny, because one of my interviews, they went, he didn't say I wasn't flexible. What he said was, they were like, yeah, we're trying to look for someone who's really flexible, right? So it's, in his own way, he was basically saying I wasn't flexible. Get me to draw a spoon on paper and it will look like a fork. I can't even draw a circle, man. I try to draw a circle. It's barely a circle. Wait, what was I saying? Oh my god, wow. Literally just lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, and I won't say... Well, I can sort of generalize what they're asking me to do. They want me to be... they were asking for someone who could be a CGI artist. And I'm not putting this company down at all, right? So they obviously... They said they had found somebody like this who could do all this work. So these people exist. But it was funny to hear this person say that they wanted basically a CAD engineer, sort of designer, someone who could make 3D print stuff. They wanted a... or designs of 3D print stuff. They wanted, like, a sort of someone who could do website I think it was website. It was website and UI design, or just UI design, something like that. And they wanted someone who could do CGI rendering. So 3 separate disciplines entirely. Like, you will go to university for graphics design and website design. You will go to university for CGI rendering like movies, and you will also go to university for 3D printing slash, not necessarily 3D printing, but for like CAD design. They are 3 separate things. That is 9 years worth of education right there, and they wanted someone to be able to perform those 3 things. And it's great they have found somebody like that, and I did say I might be able to accommodate some of those things because some of the skills are transferable. But it's amazing to me when someone sees a 3D artist and they think they're so incredibly flexible, and I'm just like, this is nutty to me, because you wouldn't take a plumber, oh mate, can you come over to my place and fix this pipe? Yeah, I'll come over. And they come over to your house, and you're just like, oh, thanks for fixing that. Can you, I've had trouble with the electronics in this room, like the plug doesn't seem to work sometimes. Do you think you could check the wiring for it? And the plumber's just like, what? It's like, well, you seem to have the tools to take like the plasterboard off and stuff to get through to the electronics. Like, couldn't you just like use those tools to, you know, check? And it's like, and the plumber might say, I mean, I guess I could, to see if a wire is completely broken, but you know, I'm not an electrician, sorry. And I think the concept is completely transferable to 3D artists, because people do that with 3D artists. Oh, can you just get some graphics design for me? Can you just draw that up for me? Can I do what? Can I draw that up for you? Does it look like I have a pen and paper in front of me? It's very interesting to me how people just made that assumption. When I think it's interesting because you've got a concept artist in the same line of work. You wouldn't walk up to a concept artist and go, wow, I really like that environment you just drew. Can you now make it 3D? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't walk up to someone who can draw and ask them to make a 3D environment out of that drawing. So why do you walk up to a 3D artist and ask if they can draw concepts for some 3D? I think it's really odd. I don't know if the word's hypocrisy. Again, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus here. This is like, at the end of the day, people misunderstand things. And there are some people in the industry who can do it all. And those people make it seem like it's a normal thing that everyone can do, right? So it's not, I'm not blaming anybody here for this sort of misconception. But yeah, right, it's interesting. Because a lot of jobs I've actually have had contact me want me to do everything. And I'm like, I feel like I'm flexible. This is what I was going to say about the other job that said they were looking for someone who's more flexible. And I was sitting there like, man, I feel like I am quite flexible. You ask me, and my last job found me very flexible. You're looking healthy tonight. Thank you very much. But yeah, because I can literally, like, you say to me, Steve, we need an environment and some models and even a basic character in this. Can you get all that done with some basic animations in the games engine? We already have a moving character. You just need to replace the character model, and here's the skeleton for it. So skin the character you make to this rig, and get it all in. And I could do that. Set up the environment, set up the lighting, UV map it, texture it, set up some particle effects, set up materials. What else can I do? Like, apart from graphics design, like setting up the UI, drawing concepts, is that it? Except from, like, those 2 things. Oh, I'm programming, but that's obviously a completely different thing. I could do everything. So having people act like I'm very, well, not versatile, I'm not very flexible, is so sad, because that's, like, the part I was trying my hardest when being a 3D artist. I was trying to be good at those things. I was trying to be flexible. I am not a master at any of my traits. I try to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. As much as I want to be a master of all of them, you can't be a master of all traits unless you're, like, incredibly amazing. So when people are like, oh, you're not very flexible, you know, you can't do concept art, you can't do the entire process. I want you to make a spaceship, but you can't draw it first. make it into a model, and get it all in. I'm like, no, but if you give me a drawing, I could do everything past that point. If you give me a drawing, I can rig the spaceship, make the interior, UV map it, texture it, get it in the engine. I've never made a spaceship, but if someone gave me that as a job and gave me a couple months to do it, I think I could do it. I'm pretty confident I could, actually. And I could get it all working, particle effects coming out the thrusters at the back. You know, dynamic materials on it. But because I can't draw it, I'm not flexible. And it's like, wow, that's really where we've gone in the games industry. Because you ask any of my old teachers, and they were one-trick ponies. There was one teacher, and all he did was make signs for video games. Like stop signs and road signs. Another teacher, when he left university, he became a vehicle artist. All he made was vehicles. After university. So this was like... 7 years ago, maybe. Some of my other teachers were just animators. Some of my other teachers were just riggers. The most talented was probably our concept artist, because he was a concept artist and a 3D modeler, and and a texture artist. He was very good at all of that. But yeah, I feel like, because a thing I used to hear was, oh, you know, well, from certain people was, oh, back in the industry, we had to be flexible. And then those particular people were demonstrating that they clearly didn't know a lot of stuff. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I know significantly more, and I'm a lot more flexible. And you're saying I'm not being flexible. What? Like, so yeah, I don't know. It's. I know it's a long rant. But I do find it really interesting that people want a lot of flexibility from one person these days, and you're never... There's a lot of talented people like Adam. I've seen his work, Adam D in chat. Amazing. Adam's a very good artist. I think it's easier for a 2D artist to dabble in 3D than it for 3D artists to dabble in 2D. I agree, but that's because I can't draw, so I feel like I'm biased. Don't even get me started on 4D artists. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird to me. I think... I mean, artists have always been... taken advantage of in the industry and not, like, given as much credit as they should. You know, it's a very common thing. I just love it when people say to you, like, I remember my sister... Oh, can you Photoshop, my caravan? Oh, what do you want? I just want to cut... well, she didn't say that. She's like, oh, can you just make it look vintage? Okay. What does that mean? Well, why wouldn't you change the colour? To what? To a vintage colour. What colour is that? A vintage one. I don't... Could you just make it into a vintage colour? So I gave her it. And I probably made it... I don't even remember what colour I made it. Let's check what... I probably wrote in... Vintage colour. Oh, yeah, I think this is it. I think I took something like this. So more of a woody, like, sort of Victorian, I guess, right? Vintage theme. Kind of. And I think, yeah, I made it sort of those colours. Actually, no, not like that. I went like this. Conveniently, the colours are here, and it does come up retro vintage. So I went like this colour. And I was like, why didn't you say you wanted it blue? Or a pastel blue? Or a baby blue? Or a tone of blue? It's like, you just said vintage. And funnily enough, because vintage is a term I like and I hate. Because for some reason, it's a term a lot of people seem to use. And I actually had a programmer say to me recently about making something vintage. And I said to them, if you approach a artist and tell them you want something to be vintage, they will not, and that's the only thing you say to them, they will not know what to make. Or at least they won't feel like you've given them enough direction. They will just think you mean you want maybe a Victorian scene or something. Which I find really weird, because I've had cases where someone will explain something to me after I've done it. Oh, what do you want? I want... Oh. Have you got any more about that you want? No, I just want... Okay, and I make something. That's not what I wanted. Well, what did you want? I wanted this. And then they'd show me loads of pictures, and they'll describe it in a paragraph. And I'm like, hold on a minute, why didn't you send this to me first? Oh, I wanted to see what you'd make. With the minimal description you gave me. What? How often do you get this, Adam? Not to throw your jobs under the bus or anything. Because I'm not necessarily throwing anyone particularly under the bus. I can remember a German company I worked for years ago who wasn't very descriptive of what they wanted. What did they ask for, actually? I think they asked for... I know that they were very happy with gold and marble. You know what? Adam's probably watching me in the bath. Gold stuff. Yeah, I remember gold stuff being a very prominent thing that they asked for. Lots of gold stuff. I'm just tidying up before bed. Ah, you're not in the bath? You used to watch me in the bath. That sounds like I'm being really creepy. He literally used to say I'm in the bath right now when he used to watch me. You haven't had a bath in months. I really hope you've been showering at least. Could you make her a ball? Yeah, hold on a minute. I got you. Wait, what kind of ball? You want a metal ball? There we go. We can have more. Did you... So, to Adam, this is. How often did you have people that weren't very descriptive in what they were asking for? And have you got any funny examples? For example, a word I was using... I'm not that much of a minge. That's... Ming? Minger is what I used to say. Wait, I can't even remember what I was going to say now. Yeah. So, like, for example, I was using the term vintage. I remember just my sister, for example, asking me to to color something in Photoshop. And she said, make it a vintage. Make it look vintage. She didn't say vintage color from what I remember. She said, just make it vintage. And when I went, oh, what color do you want? She went, vintage. So I just made it, I think, brown. Oh, I just hit the camera. Well, I knew I was hitting the camera, but I hit it much more than I thought I was going to. Yeah, so I just made like a brownie vintage color because that's, to me, that's what came to mind when it said vintage. I went, no, I wanted it like this. And then she sent me a blue color. And it's like, why didn't you say from the start, I want it to be blue, or I want it to be this color and send me a color? Yeah. How do you say that word? Sepia. I know exactly what that filter is as well. It is literally like it's like orange or brownie tinted filter. No, like a planet with a ring and a wow. So the system and where you zoom out. You know what? You're saying that. So I don't know if you guys ever saw one of my old tutorials where I made an Earth, right? And to make an Earth in Unreal, all you got to do is get a sphere, give like a Fresnel on the outside. You can do this actually kind of few ways. You can actually make the Fresnel a second sphere that's transparent, so that way you actually get like it looks like it's away from the original Earth. But because it's so close in reality, well, it looks so close in reality when you see far away from the Earth in real life, you don't usually need to do it. You can do it as one material, but you can always do a parallax anyway to offset it. So yeah, you do like a Fresnel on the edge, you do your cloud texture, which then you make rotate around, so that way it looks like a cloud's constantly moving. Better clouds, you'd have it so you're actually using a cloud map to make it look like it's merging into the different formations that clouds do, but that's if you want to get fancy. And you could lerp them between, probably. It's probably a fancy way you could do that in materials. And then you'd have the texture of your Earth with the water and the roughness, so that way it reflects something. Very simple stuff. It's just a sphere. I say that. So that sounded really complex. It's pretty simple. It's a sphere with textures on it to make it look like the Earth. Someone literally wrote in the comment section, how can I zoom into that and play it? What, like No Man's Sky? Like what? It's just a sphere with textures on it, mate. That's a whole different series. This is like a 10-minute episode. You just asked me to make you a game. It's obviously the person was very new or young, and he doesn't understand that it's just a series of textures on it. But it's funny to see the lack of understanding go from, oh look, a sphere of textures on it. How do I make it so I can fly and land on it? What? It's just quite humorous. I always love stuff like that. I don't try to judge people on like, oh, there you go, on like not knowing things. At the end of the day, not everyone's good to know. The only time I really judge people and stuff is people I think should know, right? Like, I don't know, someone's like, oh, I've been a 3D artist for 20 years, and then they say, what's a roughness map? I'm like, what's a roughness map? You just said the last 10 years have been used in physical-based rendering, and you're asking me what a roughness map is. Well, what is it? I'm like, it's just a map that says how rough the object is. So value of 1 means it's rough, and value of 0 means it's shiny. Oh, okay. I'm like, how have you been an artist for the last 10 years if you don't know what the PBR workflow is? So I only really judge people for not knowing things when I feel like they should. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's, I mean, I come from a family, maybe he understands and you don't. You don't, because it's always right true. Oh, lost train of thought again. Man, my brain is not here at the moment. Every time I get slightly distracted, I forget what I was saying. Can't remember. But yeah, oh, that was it. I come from a family of like, your family. Yeah, I come from a family that's not like the most educated people on the planet, and they sometimes will come out of things. And I've been brought up not knowing a lot of things. I didn't know anything about politics. I didn't even know. Well, one thing I found interesting is I didn't really know anything about the Bible, or at least not much, until I was maybe 16. I knew who Jesus was. I'm not religious. I want to clarify. I don't. People who are religious, this is going to sound like a really funny line, but I've had religious friends. I've never had a problem with religious people personally. I know that I won't go into it, but every religious person I know have actually been quite lovely. But I'm not religious personally, and I didn't learn about like Joseph and Mary. And I remember growing up, my parents would talk about like pantomimes and stuff, and I would see Jesus in like the barn in the hay and everything, and Joseph and Mary be there. I didn't know their names though, and I find it interesting because if I said to someone at that time, "Who's Joseph and Mary?" they'd think I'm stupid. And maybe that comes under what I said earlier, where maybe they would just assume I should know that. That's why they think I'm stupid, and they're in their right to think that. Maybe it should have been something I knew. Maybe I should have asked that question way earlier. But yeah, I mean, I come from a family who, I did get brought up knowing a lot of stuff that maybe the generic person should know. So there's a lot of blank spots. And the last, maybe decade, I've really been trying to fill in those spots that I should know as an adult. And stuff still slides by. Some people will come out with stuff just in chat, and I'm like, wait, what? That's what? Yeah, everyone knows that. There's no... you know what? A tannoy system. That was a good example. A tannoy system. I was like, what the heck is a tannoy system? And now, I want to clarify. There's a big difference between not knowing the name of something and not knowing something. I know what a tannoy system is. I didn't know the name of it. But for some reason, even if you say that to someone, they will then continue to explain to you what the thing is. Even if you've told them, I know what it is, I just didn't know what tannoy meant. Oh, a tannoy system is, what they use in the army, and it's sort of speakers, and they're all set up so that way they can communicate with the entire base, or it's what they use in malls, and I'm like, yes, I know what a tannoy system is. I said I didn't know what the word meant. Yeah, I remember when a tannoy system was mentioned to me, and I was asking people. I was like, "There's no way this is a common word that people know." And I wrote it to people. Yeah, it's like a speaker system. Somebody else, yeah, speaker system. I was like, how does everybody know? What I even asked people who weren't native English speakers. Oh, it's one of those speaker systems. I was like, so that's what I mean. People have blank spots when they don't know something. I have no idea how people know what a tannoy system is. I still don't know. I still don't know how that was mentioned. I went to army cadets. I went on military bases, like actual military bases that we saw actual people from the army doing training. I saw a tannoy system. Nobody pointed at the tannoy system and said, hey, look, a tannoy system. Because when I hear a word I'm not familiar with, I try to make sure I remember that word. So I got to write a poem for my girlfriend the other week. Oh, really? She loved it. I felt like there was going to be more story there. Can I say it? Is that rude? Is it rude to ask to see a poem that was meant for a significant other? Yeah, there's a lot of blank parts in what I should know. I was gonna say memory, not memory. There's a lot of blank parts in my knowledge that I should know that I just don't. And it's always been very interesting to me, the stuff that I don't know. Oh, nice, awesome. Let me find it. So yeah, it's just like, I try not to judge people for not knowing things. It's just when they should know it, I think it's really weird. Like, imagine a mechanic who's been a mechanic for 20 years. Oh, you know what? That's like someone in my chat. MIB mapping, right? So I didn't know the term MIB mapping. So I know what MIB mapping is basically, you should meet my brother-in-laws. I don't think I'm that annoying, but hot damn when you get stuck in between conversations or quizzes. Between then, I'm like, did we just grow up on the same planet? They'll grow up on the same planet, sorry. Yeah, I met people like that. It's funny because if you talk to my close relatives, people will say, oh yeah, Steve's quite smart. And I don't know if people think I'm smart in chat. I don't know if people think I'm smart in my Discord. But I think most people in university would not have said I was smart. They might say I'm like, I know certain things. This is the part. Is it? There's a character limit. Oh. Damn, how long is it? Or how short is the character limit? But in general, when I talk to people from university, everyone just felt so smart. And you know what? University helped filling a lot of gaps in what I know because of how smart people. Well, I want to clarify that I don't think people in university are necessarily smart people. I just happen to meet people who are smart in university. I've said this a lot, and for some reason, I've had people assume I think I'm smart, and I think that's hilarious because I do not think I'm smart. And one of my friends used to get really annoyed because I thought I was better than him because I went to university and because I thought I was smart. And I was like, and if you talk to any of my friends and they say, what does Steve say about people in university? Does Steve say people in university are smart? They say, no. Steve says, just because you go to university doesn't make you a smart person. It means you know one particular subject. That's it. It literally just means you know one particular subject. And even then, some people, even with firsts in that particular subject, probably didn't deserve a first in that particular subject because there were plenty of not intellectually gifted people in, that's the nicest way, in my university. I'll read that in just a second. Oh my god, I'm reading it now. So yeah, it's funny. I find it hilarious when people make these weird assumptions about what I think. It's like, oh, but you think this. I'm like, no, I don't. What made you think that? Some of the thickest people I've known have also been the smartest. You know, that's a really good point as well. Is some of the most book smart people, I think that's the better way to put it, right? Some of the most book smart people I've known are some of the dumbest people I've known. Like, they can recite scientific theories and theses and tell me you think I'm stupid and tell me like mathematical equations and have really, because I love scientific debates. Now, am I smart when it comes to scientific debates? I like to think I'm a problem solver and I think about my own theories when it comes to science, but I don't know a lot about science. I remember when I had a conversation about someone about can sound travel through space. So obviously the answer is no in a vacuum. However, you've got nebulas in space, which is basically gas clouds. Now that's still considered space, and a gas cloud has atoms in it, so it's not a vacuum. That is something there, and sound needs atoms to bounce between, to shake to make a sound. So my assumption was, I assume you can make sound in a nebula because it has something to travel through. And in a way I was correct. Well, at least when I researched it might say something different these days. But sound can travel through a nebula because of that reason, except it's got to be a very, 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 very low-pitched sound, because lower-pitched sounds can travel further between atoms that are widely spread apart, versus atoms that, if the atoms were closer, you could use any sound wave, but if they're far apart, only lower sounds. I assume maybe it's because it makes the atom vibrate more, so when you've got two vibrates, they hit each other, and then it goes along and along and along. Whereas if they're really close, it doesn't really, matter how much they're vibrating, because they're so close, they're going to hit each other anyway. All right. Oh, Ellie, my heart's delight in your presence. My heart's delight. Okay, I want to get this closer so I can actually see it. Oh, Ellie, my heart's delight in your presence. Everything feels right. Your smile, a beacon of pure bliss. With you, every moment I never want to miss. Your laughter, a melody so sweet. In your arm, I yeet. That doesn't say that, but there's not more to wavelengths, that's the word, yeah. Besides then, right, I didn't say the correct word and stuff like that. I mean, get people who are really like, so this is another one actually. I remember when I was, mid-mapping, sorry. Someone in my chat a while ago was pretty upset with me that I didn't know what mid-mapping meant. Now again, I know what it means. I don't know what the word meant. I never in university had a teacher tell me that mid-mapping is basically when you zoom far away from it's LODs for textures. When you far away from texture, it renders it as a lower LOD to save on performance and save on. That's the main reason, right? So on performance, from what I'm aware of, that's what MIP mapping is. Now, MIP mapping in some ways can be really annoying for transparent objects because it makes them lower quality on the alpha and they look really weird from a distance. Because obviously from an alpha, you want to still see holes in that. So yeah, that's a random tidbit for anyone who might be having problems with alpha masking or MIP mapping. Turn off the MIP mapping. It really helps. Anyways, yeah. So I didn't know what MIP mapping meant as a word, and he got really like, he was like, I can't believe you don't know what that is as an artist. And I was trying to explain. I was like, no. After you've explained it, I know what it is. I just didn't know what the term meant. But I think that's a very important distinction that people do tend to, that is terrible, do tend to, that's pretty good, do tend to overlook. He was the blue normals guy again. Oh, same person. When you talk about when I said, oh, you've got no normals on it. And he was just like, no normals wouldn't look like that. I was like, well, no, what I mean is like their default normals. And he was like really upset with me because no normals don't mean blue. No normals means there's no normals on the object. An object with no normals actually looks really weird. But if you don't attach any normals to a material in Unreal Engine or in anywhere, it will default as 001. So, because I was talking to a new person, I just said no normals because it's simple enough terminology that they're going to understand what I mean. And if I explained, they were very new. If I explained to them what the difference between no normals is and default normals like 001, they're gonna get probably confused. They're like, "What do you mean no normals?" Like, but when I don't attach anything to my normals, it just looks fine. I'm like, yeah, that's because that's not no normals, it's default normals. It would have been an extra conversation that person didn't need to have at the time. And yeah, they got upset with me because I wasn't explaining to them what. Someone else got annoyed at me because I wasn't explaining to the person. Because I was saying the words no normals instead of saying, I don't know, default normals or blue normals. I don't really even know what kind of terminology you'd use to be more accurate with that. But it's just, you have to pick your battles when talking to new people in software. And this person clearly didn't understand that. And that's not me being mean. Like, that's fine. It's like teaching, right? Some people can't be teachers. I'm not saying I can be a teacher, but some people can't be teachers because you need to recognize that some people aren't going to know simple terminologies. Even though it might be second nature to you and super simple, you need to break things down like you're like you're learning it. When I learned all these things, I didn't know anything. So when I get so many comments on my YouTube videos where someone says something, I look at it, don't get me wrong, and I'm like, wow, this looks so stupid. But they're new, so I'm not going to judge them because as a new person, you're not going to know that. Like the person talking about the Earth, or how do I zoom into it land? Like, to someone who knows that it's just a sphere with a texture on it, that sounds like a very stupid comment. But I'm not going to call the guy stupid because I know it's probably just a kid or someone who's new into 3D art. or into materials. I'm very bad with terms. I can explain stuff if I know what you're talking about, but if you ask me, hey, do you know what this is, I will Google. Thank you. I'm the exact same way, Mega Cool Man. Well, I'm getting better these days, mostly in IT terms because Jesus. See, I much prefer. It's like abbreviations. I hate abbreviations. I much prefer someone breaking down something to me and explaining it in simple terminology and simple just wording than using complicated, complex terminology. If I was, let me think of an example. Like, for example, oh, can you select that polygon and then move the vertices? Select that polygon and select the vertices on the left and just move them horizontally. I instead could say, oh, can you just select that face? Yeah, select the edge on the left or the two corners on the left, so you select the entire edge, and then yeah, just move it left or move it right. You know, I'm not going to. There's no point in complicating the terminology, even to someone who knows what that terminology is, because what's the point? What's the point of complicating that terminology? It just doesn't make sense to me. Talk like a human and not like a robot. How do I want to unwrap that? I do this, right? Yeah, do this. That's pretty good. I think it's when you watch a conference about a certain science topic, space or whatnot, and you can follow it and understand what they're talking about. But if anyone asked you in the wild, you wouldn't know. You know what? I think that's the sign that Neil deGrasse. No, wait. Is that his name? Hold on a minute. I'm saying Tyson. I know his last name is Tyson, right? I just launched a video experience by accident. Tyson. Yes. Neil deGrasse Tyson, that is him. I'm terrible with names, and I actually got that one right, but I wanted to make sure I got it right. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think, is really good at doing exactly what I'm trying to explain. He can break things down in simple terminology to make it so the average person is able to understand. I know he's got a lot of negativity online right now because he over-explains things, but I think it's great. I'm no different, so I can't judge someone for doing something I do. He's messaged me. Oh, what's this? That's a nice hoodie. Yeah, so I think Neil deGrasse Tyson is really good at breaking things down into a simple terminology where people actually understand it. And I think that's great, because I think that's what you should do. And I actually said this in my university degree, or my dissertation. I had a teacher who was doing my dissertation, and I said to him, oh, actually to a different teacher, I think. I said to a different teacher, I said, I want to do my dissertation, and I don't want to use complex terminology because I don't speaking to a complex. Hey, Neon Noob, how's it going, man? Got to run, but I liked. Oh, thanks, man. You could watch later, I guess. Have a go, man. Boy. He's hilarious. He ever explains things to leaders in the field of what he's talking about. And guys, I'm just re-explaining it so I can understand it myself. I don't know. I just really. So if you ever actually a site you want to hold on later that you might keep. Sorry, I'm talking about Blender now or development. I like to duplicate it and put it somewhere else. I like to attach to the grid as well, so that way when I bring it back, I can snap it back on grid. So I'll pop that over there, and I'm not going to use that. But the reason is because I've got a low poly one, so now if I convert that. If I convert that, I've got what I'm looking for. Now, this is quite high poly. I could probably get away with reducing this. Oh, well, I mean, 1,200 is not a lot. I mean, the whole scene is 6,000 tries. That's pretty damn good. That's like, I'm going to say that's mobile levels. Like nothing, to be fair, nothing here is a very complex object to begin with. So we're not breaking the polygonal bank with our poly count. What was I saying? terminology. Oh, yeah, and I actually said to one of my teachers, I was like, will I be marked down if I just use basic terminology and I don't, like, go over the top with, like, more complicated... Because it's not just terminology, it's complicated words, right? So it's like, even the word terminology, I could say... complicated words or complex words. Will they be marked down if I'm not using complex words or more situationally accurate words? I don't know. I can't think of I can't think of a way to explain terminology. And he was just like, no. He was like, I'm not gonna mark you down because you're using less complicated words than somebody else. He was like, if you are explaining your point and you get that point across, I am not going to change your grade. I'm going to give you the same grade you would have got if you would have wrote it more complex. And I was like, that is great. Complex descriptions? Well, the thing with terminology is terminology tends to refer to specific terms meant for a specific subject, right? So there's a difference between saying complex words or complex descriptions and terminology, right? But I'm not going to get into... I mean, let's write the word terminology as the right definition. Terminology. Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah, true. Einstein was all about making things as simple as they can be, but no simpler. And he was smart. I just don't really get why you'd explain something to someone in a way that it might come off. I mean, it's like it's like when someone said to me, did they say float or did they say... I can't remember, but someone said, give me a... I can't actually remember. Give me a random float? It wasn't float, was it? No, it was a float. I mean, give me another... give me a... Yeah, I'm talking about moderate. I was going to say, I wonder if you'll realize. It was float. I mean, give me a random float. I was like... And I know what float means. Even though I think it's completely reasonable for someone not to know what float means. I knew what float means. But I questioned him. And I was like... Give you a random float. Yeah. I was like... I think I probably said 7. And he said I wanted a decimal place or something like that. And I was like, well, why didn't you just say I wanted a number to a couple of decimal places? And to moderate, that was more complex than saying a float. And in, I guess, his defense, saying float is one word, right? So if someone knows what the word float means, then I guess it is simpler terminology to just say float, right? But float isn't... Saying number or number to a decimal place is something that's going to be more universally understood than saying float, unless you're a programmer or know about computers or maths. If I went to my parents right now and said to them, oh, Dad, can you give me a random float? He'd start hovering off the ground. He'd be like, here you go. So I guess it depends on the person. But then he went and asked somebody who is a very good programmer, and he was like, no, I wouldn't say float. So I was like, yeah. Yeah, it is dependent on the person, to be fair, that you're speaking to. But I just always go in for simple terminology because I just prefer to talk in a way that's more simple. And I think that makes good for tutorials too. I mean, I've watched tutorials and I have no idea what they're saying. I'm going to have to mark this at certain points because otherwise it's going to be way too long on the UV sheet. Oh, caps lock is on. Whoa. I literally said I don't often hit caps lock by accident. But, hey, use the language you know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's technically not incorrect. But it's just not... For me, I think I literally called him a robot. I was like, yeah, it's normal terminology if you're a robot. I mean, I'm all down for like learning only what you need, and a lot of people don't. I say a lot of people. There are a few people who don't like that, and I understand why. Learning what you need means you're limiting what you know. But I think that's fine, especially with my freaking tiny brain, because I can't remember a lot of stuff. That's a big reason why I have tutorials, is so I could go back and look at my own tutorials, because I don't remember things. But it's like, I mean, I made a tree here, and I made it there's loads of different ways to make a tree. This is one way where you basically separate your branches out like I have here, and you just attach them. But I wouldn't go out my way to learn something that I don't think is necessary for me to know. I don't think it's necessary for me to know all the advanced ways to learn how to make a tree, because stuff like speed tree exists, right? And I'm a very firm believer of not wanting to learn stuff that I don't think is necessary for me to learn. And a lot of people, or like I said, a few people, I'm not sure if it's a few or a lot, might be a minority, might be a majority, don't like that mindset. Because some people think you should learn as much as you can. I'm just not that kind of person. I put what I want to learn, and you'll be surprised how many things I do go online and try to learn. Some people, I feel like, make assumptions that I'm not ever studying. I look things up all the time. I look up new methods. And like I said, I watched an Andrew Price video recently, and he was using a lot of methodologies that I use. I was like, wow, that's exactly how I did it. That's how I achieved those shapes. I was quite surprised he was struggling with a couch. I was like, wow, I thought this guy could do everything. You're basically Cryzen X. I don't even know if that's how you say his name. I like how he became for a while like my arch nemesis, and he doesn't even know who I am. But yeah, I think, you know what, let's talk about the subject of my... This is for just people who watch the stream. About 50 to 100 people watch my stream after I've done it. So this is for people who are going to watch the stream afterwards. So if you guys have enjoyed these rants, enjoy the next one. So, I was watching videos. So something that I've had trouble with in my life is I had a friend who used to get very upset at me if I criticized him in a video game. And I get the idea of why that would upset somebody. You're playing video games to have fun, unless you're playing competitive games. And I want to make that very clear. If somebody asks me to go play a competitive game with them, I'm going to be in a more competitive mindset. Now, I never screamed at this person. I've never sworn at this person. All I've done is say things like, why would you run out and try to res me when there were 3 teams? I told you, do not come and res me because 2 teams are staring at my body. You're not surviving 6 people like shooting at you. I told you, don't come out and res me. Just continue the game, right? Conversations like that. In the moment, minor frustrations. I consider that a minor frustration. I don't think that's a huge argument scenario. It's because you have these kind of conversations in anything, in a workplace. Why did you push that? I told you, don't push it yet because I need to do my thing. It's like, now I've got to revert all the changes that I've done to match. This isn't a conversation I actually had. I'm just making it up on the spot. Now I've got to revert all my changes, go back to another branch, go back another version, and then put my stuff in after copying it before I revert. I told you to wait. You know, in anything, in work, in video games, in any activity, it's fine to have a little bit of frustration because that's just human nature. Especially when someone doesn't do something because they didn't listen to you. That's just how it is. Now, doing that constantly, especially if you're going to throw insults in there, what are you, a moron? You know, if you're going to actually insult people, that's maybe a little too far. If you are bantery with your friend, then it's fine. If you guys are known to insult each other when playing games, it's sometimes a part of banter. Some people, it's just a part of the fun for them. Anyways, I've read it in my chat not long ago, and it's the same with like Dark Souls and stuff, that games can be frustrating, and it's fine to be frustrated, when you're frustrated with these games. Obviously, you can get to the point if you're breaking mouse and keyboards, you muppet. If you're sorry, that sounded really out of context, but someone write in chat, you muppet, if you can't see it on screen. Well, I don't swear, so yeah, I would say stuff like muppet. I think idiot and moron is probably the two I usually go to. But yeah, being frustrated at games is perfectly normal, and it's like, it's almost like people think they can switch off the emotion of anger. Cheese it. The emotion of anger. But when you've died to a boss 100 times in Dark Souls, most people are going to get a little frustrated. If you're to the point where you're physically gonna break something, or you're getting emotionally upset, and I've been so angry before speaking to people. Very, very rarely. I probably can only think 2-3 times in my entire life where I've got so angry typing to someone, my hands have shaken. And that's because I was they were being very mean to me, probably in some way. And they were just not listening to what I was writing. See, that's, if you're getting to that point playing a video game, just stop and go have a break, right? But if you're only to the point, was it yesterday? It was not yesterday, no. That was like a normal conversation. If it's to the point where you're like that, go have a break. But if it's just like, man, it was one hit. He did a move, he jumped back, and he just did a move I've not seen before. I've been fighting for 2 hours, and he just pulled it out of thin air and killed me. Steve Angry be like that one meme, Navy SEAL copy. The what meme? Hey, Liv, how's it going? I'm talking about rants right now about getting mad at video games. So if you're only to the point where like you're just getting annoyed at a boss, right, in a game because you just died to him in a really scummy way, like he's just done a move you've not seen, you've died to him 100 times, it's taken you 200 hours, and he's just killed you roundly, felt really unfair. Getting frustrated at that in a minor way of just being like, oh my God, I've just been so long. And you know why it's fine to get frustrated at that? Because you get frustrated at anything like that in real life. When you're working towards something and you encounter hardships, it's very normal to get frustrated at those things. Because when you get frustrated at something like that, it makes the end result worth it, right? When you've been fighting a boss for like 100 hours, 100 attempts, and it's taking you an hour, 2 hours, and you finally beat that boss, you will remember that gaming moment for the next 10 years. You will look back, you will be fighting bosses in Dark Souls 10. There won't be Dark Souls 10. And you're going to be like, man, I remember when I fought Ornstein and Smoke? I used to call them Oreos and S'mores in Dark Souls 1, and it took me so long, but it was so satisfying when I killed them, right? Because you look at those scenarios and you look at those events, and it makes you feel a lot better. I did it once when playing with my dad, and I felt so bad after because I could tell he was genuinely hurt by it. But it's just one of those things. I want to see this meme. Which one?
Navy SEAL copy pasta is a facetious message from someone posing as a former Navy SEAL, containing ridiculous claims and grandiose threats to portray an internet tough guy stereotype. The earliest archived posting was submitted on November 11th, 2010 to 4chan's Otaku Culture Board, though the poster claimed to have seen the image previously on a weapons enthusiast image board. The narrator claims to have vast experience in the Navy, but includes comical typos and hyperboles, like guerrilla warfare, throughout the paragraph. On August 17th, an Urban Dictionary entry for the term guerrilla warfare was posted, defining it as training that fake Navy SEALs receive. On February 13th, 2013, 10-year-old Richie Phelps posted a status update featuring a version of the copy pasta adapted to Mexican slang on his Facebook profile page. It went viral, with people mocking him for claiming to have this military experience, not putting together that this was related to the copy pasta. The suspected shooter...
So is that you saying that I'm like me being angry is like me pretending I've been angry before? What else was I saying in that rant earlier on Discord? So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, when someone gets like, in my opinion, it is an opinion to be fair. If you're criticizing someone in the game you just played, especially when it's a competitive game, it's like, why did you do that? And then they just respond with, why you get so upset? It's just a game. Why are you responding like that? Why are you responding that it's just a game? Because you're clearly taking it more serious by getting upset by what I'm saying. I'm just telling you what you should have done, and you should have listened to what I said. I'm not, you know, that's like any scenario in life. If you said to someone 100 times, don't do something, and they do it, it's going to frustrate you, whether that's in a video game, it's in a job environment, it's just within family environment and friends. Like, oh, I mean, to be fair, it could be in a more serious case, like, oh, put the handbrake on, make sure to put the handbrake on, and then you freaking walk out in your car's freaking backed into another car in the parking lot because they didn't put the handbrake on. Yeah, that can obviously be way more frustrating because it's going to cost a lot of money to repair, well, depending on what happened. But it's still the same sort of scenario in a video game. Someone's actively not listened to what you said, and sometimes it is just it's not the fact that they ignored you, it's the fact that it was in the moment and they weren't really thinking, and it's just one of those things. But I think it's perfectly reasonable to get a little frustrated, and I think it's fine. You make up afterwards, right? It's just a game. I know I just said when they say it's just a game, it's like thingy, but I'm saying it in a different sense. It's just a game. In the moment, it feels much more serious than it really is, but afterwards, like the next day, you're like, man, oh, yeah, like it's just, you don't really think about it anymore. I mean, freaking people beat each other up in pubs for misunderstandings. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're swearing at your friend and you're cursing and you're shouting and you're getting physically angry and you're shaking, yeah, that's too much. But if you're just mildly frustrated, it's just a part of the experience. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And at the end of the day, that's all up to opinion. And I know when you bring this topic up, a lot of people will instantly jump to the extreme cases. So you saying it's fine to throw your controller against the wall and smash it? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's fine if you're mildly frustrated, because that's how humans are. That's how people work. You get frustrated when something doesn't go your way, especially when you feel cheated and it doesn't feel like your fault. For example, in a game like Dark Souls, when a boss does something that you've not seen before, or your hit doesn't register right, you feel cheated and people feel very frustrated. Or in a video game where your friend feels like he's trolling and it's like he's intentionally losing, even though he's not, and it may feel that way. I think that's perfectly reasonable to get frustrated in those scenarios. People are completely welcome to tell me I'm wrong, but I don't know. As long as if you have been very mean, you should apologize afterwards. But if all you were doing is offering some tips and what they should have done to not have that happen in the game, I think that's fine. I'm gonna separate these out for now, just to have them separate. Yep, that is how that works. We're gonna separate them out to have them separate. Kind of want to do the arm and... Well, no, I kind of want to just do that one separately. But the problem is, it's just not using up much of the room. You're wrong. That's fair enough. This isn't it. At the end of the day, I know that's a joke, but it is an opinionated perspective on it. So people are completely fine telling me I'm wrong in the way I perceive the scenario. Nice model, bro. Thanks, man. Are you 3D modeler? He's messaging me. What the heck is that? I was really confused. Someone's just sent me some clothes, and I just looked at it. And I was like, "What?" But it's turned inside out. It's like it's jogging bottoms, but it's like got a fleece on the inside. But it was like turned inside out, like pulled up, and I was like, "Why would you wear?" I just showed a picture. At least I assume that's just it flipped inside out. Look. But I was like, "Why would you wear? Why would you want jogging bottoms that go to fleece halfway down?" I was like, "Oh no, he's flipped it up to show what's inside." Right? Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the other pictures. That looks well comfortable. Oh. I was told that I should probably shave before going to Japan. I like my beard. But apparently, it's quite often considered unkept. Yeah, I always wonder about stuff like that, actually. So, you know, like how people say, like, oh, yeah, in Japan. So, don't get me wrong, tipping is apparently rude. And I can completely understand that one. But people will say certain things. For example, having a beard in Japan is considered unkept. Yeah, but is that like a big thing? Or is it the same way that we consider it? Because if you're in the UK and you ask people about beards, you will get a mixed opinion whether or not some people think it does look unkept and some people don't. So, need to sleep, work soon, have a great stream. I also think beards are becoming more common in Japan. Oh, that's good. But I'm just wondering, like, if it is actually considered unkept, or if it is more one of those scenarios where it's like, yes, you know, like how it's like saying, I know you're leaving now, so you don't have to listen to this, but if anyone else wants to reply, it's like I was saying, oh, in the UK, oh, you know what? Someone actually said this means peace, but the other way is a swear word. Someone did that to me on a stream. Where am I? Hello? I don't know. Where are you? How's it going, man? Wait, what was it about? Oh, yeah. So I wonder if saying like beards in Japan is considered unkept and unclean is the same way of like saying, oh, in the UK or in England, using your fork in your left hand is considered bad etiquette. You know, nobody cares if you use your fork in the other hand. Well, no one really. Wait, no, fork is supposed to be in your left hand. Hold on a minute. Fork in your right hand, right? What is the right hand to hold the fork in? I subbed and liked your liked my welcome. Thank you. Thank you for subbing. I hope you're a developer yourself and you can maybe learn something from the streams. Otherwise, you can just hear me rant about things because I like talking about random subjects. We talked about science earlier. Well, we talked about, I talked about, should I say, sound traveling in a nebula. The knife should be in the right hand and the fork in the left. However, if a knife is not needed, such as when eating pasta, the fork can be held in the right. Yes, it's interesting. Right, you were right the second time, not right for hand, left is right, right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I wonder if, like, saying things, when people, what are you doing making right now? I'm UV mapping right now, so I'm just kind of like, I'm going away soon to Japan, so I'm not in any rush to make anything. I probably should be. I'm UV mapping this. If you haven't seen the last scene I made, oh, you know what? I can show you the. For anyone who wants to download my scene, I actually put it up so you can play it. Is it on my desktop still? There it is. So if you go into my stream in the free stuff section, my stream in my Discord. Oh, that's on the wrong monitor. Can I place it on the right monitor? No, wait. Oh. Full screen. There you go. So you can have a little fly around. Oh, I have never seen you before ever in my life, but okay. Oh. I added little bits. I kind of wish I made that swing now. You hear it? But as the time, every 10 seconds, it will fade into night and day, and then lights turn on with an audio. Sorry if that sounded dude. That's fine. I assume you meant sounded rude. I've never seen you before in my life. Yeah. I'm gonna say pretty thank you. It was really fun. People keep asking me about this tree over here. Like, why is there a tree outside? I'm like, because it was in the original concept. There's like small things that it's like this waving. It's just really fun to make it. What is this game? What is this game? This isn't a game. This is a project I worked on. I have a bunch of streams of me making it. So it's just like a little 3D environment. But if you're on my Discord and you go to the free stuff section, you can download it for free and just fly around. But yeah. It looks like an old RPG house. It does a little bit. You know what would have been cool? I'd have loved to make it like because the angle of render was supposed to be actually the actual render. Let's close it. The actual render is from here because the original concept, not that one. That's the night one. The original concept Not that one. Oh my god, where is it? You know what? I'll just go to my ArtStation. I've linked it on there. When I finish a project, I tend to like move everything that was related to it away somewhere on my computer. So I've probably got the link to the guys, or the image to the guys' work. There you go. So yeah, this was the original concept. So I always try my best to match it up to how that looks. So you see that? So it's not perfectly matched, but it's because in 3D environments you can't always perfectly match, but it's pretty close. Well, I think it's pretty close. Obviously that's down to a little bit of personal perspective, but yeah. And like, I think a big thing I like to do, I know a big thing I like to do is to let me move the chats over, is to when you're making, or when I'm making a scene. So I've got quite a few things. Oh, my chair, why did that do that? When I'm making concept, when I'm taking someone else's concept art and I'm making it into a 3D environment, like this one, like this, oh, not like this one, like this one, this one, and this one. I think that's the only three. I've got props as well, actually. Yeah. So when I take a concept, so I don't draw my own concepts. Clarify, I'm not that creative. I just turn them 3D. I find someone else's concept and I turn it 3D. So I look at this and then I say, okay, I want to make it 3D. When I want to make something 3D, I don't just want to render a picture. I always want to have something going on, movement, parkour effects, sometimes a glow effect, because even if it's a slight bit of movement, it just shows off. Like, look at, like, you can see like the steam. It just shows off that it's 3D, right? Because if all you're doing is making the 2D scene 3D from one single camera angle, I feel like that's a waste of all the time put into making it 3D. Same with, oh, that's the one I obviously showed. This one was interesting. There's a lot of movement in this one. So this is the original. And again, I could have just said, there you go. But I wanted to make it move. I wanted to show the... When you make something 3D, the whole point is that it's 3D and now it's a real scene you can virtually do stuff with. So I want to show that off. So we made everything move. Wait, do you have a 3D printer? I do not. I wish I did. I really should invest in one because I could print all the stuff I make. That'd be so cool. I made a... Wait. I made a lot of the sounds with my mouth. So the music's not me, but like there's that popping sounds I make. Can't really hear them. And that the tray coming in is me just going, and then because someone was like, why don't you got good microphone? Just make the sounds of your mouth. And I was like, okay. This one though I like a lot. The one thing I wish you could change is that one that I thought it was an RPG. I thought you should tilt some stuff to make it look a little better. Like tilt it backwards. The problem with that is I always like making it look like a game scene, and it's really hard to, like, if that was a real room, right, in a 3D environment, you can't really have it all tilted away. Yeah, that would then you would be at maybe 1 million subs. Yeah, that'd be nice. You know what? That'd be sick. I can't wait. Well, I say I can't wait. I don't know if I'll ever get that. You should really upload your smaller scene to Sketchfab. Why is it hiding it? There, people could look at them. I could, but the problem is Sketchfab is a different renderer. So I'd have to how does Sketchfab work? I don't know what renderer is Sketchfab. Is it like an actual renderer, or is it like Marmoset? Is it like its own thingy? Not to be really rude or to offend you, but are you British? What makes you think I'm British? Is it my voice? I'm going to assume it's my voice. You know what? It's quite funny because I quite often, actually not anymore. It's been a while since someone's asked what my nationality is. But I quite often get like, oh, are you Australian? Are you Scottish? Are you Welsh? Are you British? I am indeed British. British, as people prefer the British people to say it. Cool, I would be happy if I was called British. You get a lot of random assumptions when you're British, I have to admit. Kinda, I think you have the accent because I am. Oh, you are also British. Where do you think I'm from? I love asking this. Like, actually, where in Britain do you think I'm from? So I love hearing people's assumptions, because I always ask people, when people see me with very dark hair and a little bit of more sort of tan skin, I also ask, well, where do you think I'm originally from? As like, do you think I'm full British, or do you think I was born somewhere else? Because people like to guess. Yeah, British person I've seen who've gone live. To clarify, I'm British and I was born in Britain, and my parents were all born in Britain. But people have made a lot of assumptions that I'm from different parts of the world. Oh, are you Turkish? Are you Italian? Are you this? Are you that? I'm like, no, I'm British. I've been British for generation after generation. I was born with yellow jaundice, and that did make my skin a little bit more yellow, because yellow jaundice. Hey, do you play Undertale? I know this is out of the blue, but do you? I do not, but I really should play it. The Willy Wonka house, I just saw that. How long did you write that? I don't know. I am now lost in my mind. Oh. You know what? I get lost in my mind very, very often. I get lost in my rants very, very often. Like now. Yeah, but where were your parents born? Yeah, they were from Britain. Have you seen? I don't know if you're referencing. Where were your parents born? I wonder if this will make it come up. No. Was that from Little Britain? I've never seen Little Britain, so I have no idea. I'm still stuck on the Spider Lady. Spider Lady? Wait, what? Still stuck on the Spider Lady. I'm actually really confused. I was born in the USA. Oh, so was Moderate. Wait. Yeah, Moderate. You was born in the USA, right? And then you went back to Scotland, but you're not actually, like, your parents aren't in America. I can't remember. Moderate has some background like that. I'm pretty sure that's right. Bottle water. You know what? How do you say water? Because do you say water? Water? Like, I mean, to be fair, the way it's spelled, it should be said waiter, surely, because you've got, like, if you had the word later, it's Later, but water is Water, and it's pronounced water or water, or however people say it. How do you actually pronounce it? So is it what you just said there, water? No, there's no way you're supposed to say water. Water? Like, water pronounced. Water.
Water.
Water. Water? I probably say water more than anything. Water. There's no way water's the... Is that like... Because this is the British pronunciation here. So hear it again.
Water.
Water. Water. Water.
Water.
Water. I tend to say water, I think, because I come from a family that don't pronounce T's very often, which is more southern London-y. So it's like, for example, instead of saying tattoo, I try to pronounce T's. I think I'm very in between. It's not like I put effort in, but sometimes I do pronounce them, sometimes I don't. So instead of saying tattoo, I'll say tattoo. Instead of saying water, I'll say water. I think house and stuff is a good one as well, because I definitely don't pronounce like H's from time to time. So instead of saying house, I say house. But I actually really like saying it like that. I can't think of any... See, I would never call it an hive. If I was talking about a hive of bees, I wouldn't say an hive of bees. Actually, maybe I would. An hive of bees. A hive of bees. So we got the American pronunciation of water here, and how they say it.
Water.
Water.
water,
Water. Water. Water? That doesn't... Where's the T?
water,
Water. Water.
water,
I don't even hear the T in the pronunciation. I hear water. A bottle of water. Oh my god, wow, that does sound so different. A bottle of water. I'm going to go get a bottle of water. That's amazing. I'm really like... A bottle of water. A bottle of water. A bottle of water. Wow. That's so interesting to me. I mean, I'm not even fully hearing myself, just obviously through what your ears hearing your voice speak. Can you give me one reason why fairies got bullied and get bullied for making dragon puppets? Can someone tell me how they're the same? Dragon puppets? Oh, dragon puppets. Dragon puppets? I cannot give you a, telling you they're the same. Wait, isn't dragon scalies? That's a term, right? Water. Water. Water?
water,
Water.
water,
Water. 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 Wow. I'm just sitting here. I should do like a 1 hour stream of saying water. Challenge. Yeah, they made of paper, cardboard, and lost. Oh. Where's this going? There it is. So like wooter. Wooter. Woter. Woter. Water. Woter. Water. I think a misunderstanding quite often is that especially British people can't pronounce it a different way. And there was actually what was that video? Is it water? British person interviewed saying word wrong. It's not coming up. Oh, here. Butter. Right.
But some in Middlesbrough won't have it.
Tomorrow.
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 It's tomorrow.
No, it's tomorrow.
Butter.
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 Listen. Butter.
Butter.
That's it. Say again.
Butter.
Very good. Thank you very much indeed. Standard English on the streets of Teesside. Together, we can do this. Damon Green, ITV News,
A little
in
spit.
Middlesbrough.
I don't actually know what this is. It's I assume it's like a Mickey Taker thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a real interview. I have no idea. But oh hey Vcoiner, I do think it's funny because Tamara, is that how you were saying it? Tamara, tomorrow. So I say, you know what? I actually had this conversation with my parents recently with Tube. They said, "Oh, take a no." My parent was doing a word search. It was like, "It's Tube," and my mum was like, "What?" It's tube. Tube. She was like, "It's tube." I was like, "Well, there's a T at the start, so surely it's tube." It's like, you don't see tube, you see tube. And she's right. I mean, I know how people usually say it. How's it going, bro? Pretty good. We're just talking about pronunciation of British words. To pronounce. And it's like, if you look, it is tube in English or British pronunciation.
tube,
Like Tuesday instead of Tuesday. So American,
tube,
which is how I say it, tube. A tube. I say tube. I kind of actually pronounce the U a little bit more, but I say tube of toothpaste instead of a tube of toothpaste. But wait, what one was I going to look at? There's a lot of funny words because, like, I really like your designs you make it down Blender. Thank you. I mean, I didn't actually do the original concept. That was by a very talented artist. I don't have them up at the moment, but they definitely have been appearing on other on my previous streams. But well, I say appearing, not actually appearing. I've been showing their art station. So this is the original concept, and I basically modeled over the top of it to get to the point of this, because I like replicating concept arts into. Oh, whoops! I went to a different. Let me get into a different one. Betty bought a butter and Bo? Oh, was that supposed to be bought again? Betty bought a butter and bought a better butter. What do you want, like... Wait, how do you say that in more British? Betty? Yeah, you say Betty instead of Betty, so... Water looks good, thank you. Oh, you should have seen my last scene. I literally just... So my last scene, I made it playable. I literally just showed this, but you've just appeared, so I'll show you again. Sounds like I'm mad at you. I just showed this. Oh. How I full screen it. There you go. So this was the last scene we made. I'll yeah. What? I tried blending it out. My first project was a donut. It's always a donut for everybody, except me. For some reason, I never did a donut story. Maybe that's the difference. Wait, I need to pronounce that in more British. Betty bought a butter and bought a better butter. Is that what we wanted to hear? That sounds like a tongue twister. Peter Piper picked a pickled pepper. It had she sells seashells by the seashore. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Do you drink beer? I'm 13. Oh my god, you're only 13? Jesus. I am not that big of a fan of beer. I have drunk beer and I will drink beer on the odd occasion. I prefer a Guinness, which is a stout, but it's still beer. I'm pretty sure they're all technically beers. Well, all of those, like stout. Is it lager a beer? So yeah, you can fly around the scene. So V Coiner, you can have a fly around. Whee. Oh yeah, things make noises. Wait, I got what right. Wait. There's also... Again, I don't like taking credit for the actual design. Someone else made the concept art. I will show. So this person, very talented artist, made it. They drew it. You can actually see the stages that they drew it in, which is really cool. I took that image. That's the only image I had of it, and this is really loud, Jesus. And I made it 3D, and the render is from the angle that the can I do this, please? There you go. It's actually in the angle of the original image. Oh, woodchuck, right? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Yeah. Oh, you could do it, man. Like, trust me, this isn't that difficult. If you go back and watch my streams, you'll be like, wow, it's actually not that hard. It's more time consuming. Like, I mean, if you think about it, we can get the scene up if you want. And like, it's like learning the transitions as well. That's really easy. It's just time consuming. So making it so we have all these lights set up, and then every 10 seconds it changes from night to day. So 3, 2, 1. There you go. But if you actually go into the Blender document, oh, why is it doing that? S-Spline modeling. So look, it's really like you got some little bit more complicated shapes like this, but it's really simple shapes. And because I use a software called F-Spy, which I've broken, I had it so it was set up at a certain angle. Oh, so angle, I say really weird. Angle is how I usually say it. It's angle. But that's not a British thing. That is a me thing. And my family. I actually spoke to my brother about it. He was like, no, you're saying it right. It's angle. Angle. And I was like, no, it's angle. And he was like, well, we said angle. And I was like, yeah, I know. But, let me... Wait, what was I doing? Right. So you go into a software called F-Spy. It's on my desktop, isn't it? F-Spy. Oh, I don't know where I saved it. So at F-Spy, you basically can align the concept art. Kind of like how I've done in Blender with this new scene. And you align it, and then you transfer it over, and you can just model using this perspective. So you basically, when you're in the camera perspective, as long as you know where the floor is, you can start modeling where things need to be. Right? So do that, pull that down here, and I know that that's now sort of the right shape. And you can just start modeling based on that, and it becomes really doable when you know the right ways to achieve what you're looking for. A big part of 3D modeling, in my opinion, comes down to the right methodology. If you know the methods to implement to get something done, it makes it significantly easier to achieve like the scene you're looking to make. I'm nowhere near like an amazing 3D artist, but I'm not a very good artist to begin with. The fact that I'm not even a very good artist to begin with and I'm able to make these scenes just shows how much, if you implement the right methods, you can actually get something you're looking for. Can you see if New York's near South Carolina, please? I mean, New York... What? Why? New York's northeast of America. Near South Carolina. I don't know where South Carolina is, but... Have you modeled a katana before? Have I? Yes, I have. I can't show you it because it was for a project that I can't show, but I have. I mean, it's not too difficult to model a katana. If we file new general, so first thing you could do is if you find a side on of a katana like this, you can get that image, throw it on your desktop, throw it into Blender when you're from a perspective like this, and you've got now an outline of what you're looking for. Let's play music because it sounds really ominous sitting here without anything playing. I have so many tabs, so many windows open. There it is. Can I please be a mod? You cannot be a mod, I'm sorry. I don't even think I have a mod because there's so few people here I don't need mods because I could just moderate myself. So until I have a need for moderators, I don't even need one at the moment. So what you could do, right, is you can start modeling it. So if you... I'm sorry. If you know the generic shape of it, you might not need other angles. But if you need to know how thick the back of it, how the tang... Well, this is the tang. How the... not the pommel... Different part of katana names. I want a diagram, actually. Is there a diagram? There is a diagram. There is a lot to this diagram. Oh my god, what's that part called? A habaki. Is that what it was called? A habaki. Yeah, so this part here is a habaki. It's funny that you're mentioning katanas. I'm going to Japan next week. So yeah, if you know generically what shape like, for example, so you could start... I'll start from fresh here, right? So what does the handle look like? It's a cylinder. Now, do you want to model the actual wrapping around it? If you want to model that, you can, or you can do it in high poly. It depends how you want to achieve it. If you want a generic shape, what you're going to need is a cylinder. And let's rotate that like this. And let's make sure that cylinder... So the shape isn't round, right? For a katana, it's a little bit oval shaped, right? So we do this, pull this over here. I'm not going to explain every single tool just because it's a little tedious to explain. But as long as you know, as long as you take the time to learn all the tools like move, scale, right click, smooth shade, so that way you're not got those hard edges that you just saw. And then you can select that face here, get back up here, hold control. Wait, what are you going to do after you finish this live and then next live? As in, wait, what are you going to do after you finish this live and then next live? I don't know. Whatever I'm doing that day. So if you hold control, you can actually, if I press G, we can move it first. Then if we hold control and right click, we can create a extrusion to make that shape. Now, if you come into here and go to normals, you can go auto smooth. Actually, I could have right clicked and just did auto smooth. So that way these ends stay sharp. For this tip, we could always actually pull this up to here, or we could do this to an extrude, and then we could hold control B and smooth, bevel it. But if you scroll, you'll smooth that out like that. So now you've got a nice smoothed tip. Go back in top angle, we can go to wireframe up here, that one here. Oh, and this one. And we can see how to align that. So a bit more like this. Now, depending, like, are you going to make something new or... Yeah, I always make something new. I mean, if you go to my art station, which is... It is in the description, but if you've not seen it... Oh, thank you for teaching me. It's fine. I'll do the whole thing right now. Well, at least to a basic extent. I'm not going to show you it, like... You can improve on what I'm about to show you, basically. But I'm going to show you the very basics of how you achieve the shape. Or how to achieve any shape, really. So, you just... If you've got an idea in your head of what the shape kind of looks like, you might only need one angle to work with, like I'm showing with the katana now. But if not, make sure to get more reference. You might need 50 images of a katana before you really start like knowing what the shape looks like. So that if we actually look at my portfolio and go to all, from... Did we make the tank on stream? No, we textured it on stream though, right? I think I did the texturing of the tank in like 1 hour. This like took an hour. This is my art station. This is all the stuff I've made. Well, all the stuff I've made that I want to present on the internet, or I'm allowed to, because when I work from a company, you're not allowed to present certain things. What's that character art? That's a goblin that my friend drew, and I wanted to make into a 3D model. He's not finished, and I've said this a million times that I should finish him, and I never have. But yeah, he was really fun. Anyways, so I have made everything from here as well. Hold on a minute. I've pretty much made all of this on stream. Yeah, everything here. Oh, except the Simpsons environment. But I have done more stuff to the Simpsons environment on stream. So we have two versions because one was ray trace. This is the version that I didn't do on stream, and then everything added to the environment. So like cans and better shaped couch and just other things is all stuff I did on stream. Nice gun art, thank you. I think my best realistic is probably my tank and my gun. I was not, I don't think, mentioning you. But unfortunately, in Marmoset, you don't get a full... This was like 8K textures. You don't get the whole 8K. But you can move it around and have a look. I don't know why. I look at this and I think, man, I couldn't do this now. I think I could. I just think I'm putting myself down. I was really into making more realistic assets back then. Now I'm more into making stylized assets, so I don't feel like I've lost the ability to do it. I just feel like I would need a little bit of practice again. How do I move the L left click? There is a way to move the light. Oh, there you go. Shift left click. Yeah. Been fun times. The only thing... Oh, I didn't make this on stream because this was actually for an art test. But, so that's what I was trying to show earlier. I like making things move. If I'm making a concept art into a 3D environment, I want to make it move. Because that's just really important. I think it really shows off. Also, one more thing. How can you make a helmet like... Oh, wait, do you not want to see the rest of the katana? I was gonna show the rest of the katana. Something I always recommend actually. So if you're modeling, Shift D duplicates. Yeah. Oh, make sure to separate things into actual separate parts. Even here, I'm debating separating out into a separate part. That's super useful. Like this is the pommel, isn't it? This is probably a separate part, right? So what we can do is I'm going to press F3, right? Separate selection. And now that is separated from this. This is so because we've got a wrap around this. This is actually probably a very tad bit smaller, probably like that. And the pommel, I believe, would be slightly bigger like this. So if we actually go to physical, looking at it now, and then give that a little bevel, we do something more like that. And now it's a separate part. That helps in a lot of different ways, but when you're modeling something, model it the way it's made in real life, right? If we're looking at this bottle, my cleaner, you might think, oh, I'll model this in one mesh. Never model in one mesh. Well, there's some scenarios where you should, but if you're going to model something properly, model it into the separate pieces it is in real life. This bit here, that twist, is a separate piece. This handle thing is a separate piece, so model it like it's a separate piece. Bottle here, one piece, bit here that you can unscrew. Separate piece, separate piece, separate piece. Model it all as separate pieces, then assemble it together as your 3D model. Right, but I gotta go to school 6:16. That's a very specific time. We're about next live. Get out of school at 3. I'm usually live way earlier than this, like 8:30 British Standard Time, BST. But yeah, model your things separately if you can. That's one of the best advices I could ever give. So for example here, this is definitely like a thicker thing, so it's like this, oops, this. You can pull this up to probably here, where it's like slightly tilted, so we're not seeing the whole thing. Then you've got like that part, which is like a really thin bit here, like that. So now we've got like this part of it. If we go to local, it'll move into that direction. Good night. And you could design this to however you want. I'm just keeping it really simple right now. Like I said, you can make it better looking as you go. We're going to bevel that. We're going to do a nice bevel on here too. It's a very small one just to help separate that shape out like that. You can do a grip for it to make it look really cool. If I knew how it was wrapped, I might be able to make that, because you could array it, right? So if I made this straight, duplicate of it. It is going to be very interesting if this works. So, try to think how it's wrapped. Again, if you do not know, don't do what I'm doing and guess. If you don't know, go look up at how it's wrapped. Because if you know how it's wrapped, you might be able to replicate. You should usually model to things to be straight. I modeled it not straight. So you should model it straight. What I should have done is I should have taken this and made it straight and then modeled on top of it. Because then realigning to be like straight can be really awkward. Something like that. So what you could do now is if we want to wrap something, there's a couple ways we can do it. Trying to think of the best way that would look right. So if we take this, actually, you know what? If I take this, grab this, and then I'll just take that out and separate it. Every piece when you're a 3D artist is like its own little puzzle. That's how I like to look at it, because you're always trying to work out how things are made. Let's scale that down a little bit because we're going to wrap on top of it. So now let's look at another katana picture so I can actually. So now I am going to look at reference katana handle. See, I don't know how that's wrapped. It's like got a hole. It's like a diamond shape. I mean, depending, you could always model it without it being an actual wrap and just make that diamond shape. So if you wanted to do something like that, I guess you we'll go through the wireframe, so we'll grab the back as well. Press O to grab a selection, and then we could go into a sharp selection. Wait, yeah, we want it to be a sharp selection like this, right? And then we're going to take that, we're going to duplicate it, we'll spin it around, and that's not going to be what I want, is it? Wait, yeah, so I want to do that again, but I don't want to go that, I want to go more like this. There you go. And then rotate and pull that down like that. They need to connect. Yeah. So you want that diamond shape. Merge by distance. Turn that up so they all connect. Cool. And then you want that to be basically extruded, right? Yeah. So if we select all this, extrude that up a little bit. You know what? Extrude it to a 0. The only thing that makes this seem hard is like controls you have to. Yeah. Like I'm scaling S, middle mouse click, and I'm scaling on this direction. Then I'm pressing G, middle mouse click, and I'm moving on just the Y. You can push Y. Like if I push G and then Y, it'll move on Y, but I tend to middle mouse click. But yeah, it's all about learning the controls, like you just said. That is basically it. As soon as you learn that, a lot of it, I wouldn't say it's second nature, but it's like a puzzle game. You're thinking, using the tools you know, you're thinking about how to make it. So it's going to squeeze that down, put that here, and we've got one part of it. Now, if I smooth that, I want to set origin point to the center, scale that down, make sure it fits, that it's not perfectly aligned. Perfectly aligning things do help. I'm very lazy when it comes to perfectly aligning things. I shouldn't be. I should definitely be better at it. So now you can use tools provided in Blender. We can add a modifier. Turn on my numlock. I was going to say, why isn't that not working? Like that. And for some reason, that is not. That's very interesting. 0.95. Too much. 0.97. And let's do a merge. Merge. And that merges it. Cool. Now, I will also do a solidify and give it thickness. So let's do this. The whole thing has thickness. We want to do a auto smooth to do that. And then now, what's really cool here is as we turn the array up. Oh, he says, where's that going? Oh, I haven't perfectly aligned it, so as we turn that up, we can get it to coat the entire thing. Make sure we have it aligned. I'm going to slightly increase its scale. Get it a bit thicker. And there we go. Make it thicker as well in here. That way, yeah, it goes in the whole thing. And then what we can do is like bevel that to give us like these smooth edges here. Make sure you definitely go to like. Make sure when you're modeling, you occasionally will go Control A and reset the scale. So I think that's now working here. Here they go. What is going on there though? The bevel's definitely messing it up. I mean, I can't subdivide it. That'll look weird. Yeah, that's very weird. It looks kind of cool actually. Not what I want. Those diamond shapes really does add a lot. Yeah. It's there's so many small things that when you add it, it really increases. Because we're arraying it, we can actually say screw it and manually do. Oh wait, let's apply the solidify and then bevel these. There you go, and we could do like smoother. Wow, was that just the shading? I think that might just be the shading looking weird. No, that's not just the shading. Something's going on there. Oh, well, that's because I beveled. Right. You see, this is Blender being weird. So instead of we're going to insert an edge loop, so Control R, insert edge loop, and we're going to pull that in, and then we're going to do a bevel there instead. There you go. Now we've got a slightly smoother transition, and then if we actually, so we could subdivide. It still comes out a little weird. It's not too bad. So then you'd want to clean up a bunch of stuff. Like, we don't actually want any of this interior. But, yeah. You could... Best of it till it looks right. I'm still in. Oh, hello. Hello there. So now... Annoyingly, we have to align this. Again, I should have modeled it so it was perfect. Whispers. So I also wanted to slightly decrease this one's size because this sits on top of that. Funnily enough, I say this all the time, that the first thing people want to do when they're a 3D artist is start making weapons. It's always one of the first it's one of the first requested, that's what I'm looking for. One of the first requested things that people always say. Oh, so this isn't right because it's not smooth, is it? Because I did this. If I deleted this for a second, it'll be a bit easier to align it. There you go. Yeah, it's just a bit of trial and error to get it. Like if I modeled it properly, and I'm gonna keep repeating that now. But if I modeled it properly, I wouldn't be having this problem. So you should model it straight to begin with. Because I modeled it not straight, I'm having the problem of actually aligning it. But yeah, that looks pretty good. That's looks like there's a handle. Then when you texture it, you can make it look like it's more more correct, I guess. Then you want to do this little part here. Just make you a little bit thicker and pull you back. Turn off grid snap. That's really annoying. Pull you back. I'm gonna grab this again. This is actually a really weird shape. For those of you who don't know what this looks like, it's like a circle at the bottom. So we can actually grab this. So it usually looks a bit more like this. Comes up like this. And then it's kind of like the shape of the actual blade. I'm going to put that a bit more actually. It's kind of like the shape of the actual blade, right? So the better way to do this is just to model a separate, to actually, sorry, not model, to create a separate mesh. So we're going to go Control A, Shift A, sorry, and go cube. And then again, I should have aligned this so straight so I wouldn't have to rotate this, but what can you do? I've already started modeling it in this weird way, so it's fine. So we're going to get that to the right shape, and then we're going to make it fit. So you usually have a thicker back like this, and then it usually does something a little more like this, right? And it's usually got some bevels on it too. So we're going to select this. I'm going to delete the face down here, and I'm going to bevel maybe like that. Actually, no. So you can actually do something called weighted normals. But when I go to smooth this now, if I went to go weighted normals and sort of auto smooth, we actually get something a little bit more like that. What is going on here? Why does it look dark? What? Is that the weighted normals? So I'm actually... So weighted normals are good on this, but I think it's messing up everything else. Yeah, it is. So what we're going to do is separate this out. Then we're going to do weighted normals on that. There you go. It makes it look smooth. Next. So also, something I missed, is it actually just like, I believe, more like this. Because that part stays flat and then it goes down to a blade. So this hasn't got the groove where like the blood goes into. I can't remember what that's called. But we could probably reuse this shape here, right? Because it's basically the same. It's just a little bit smaller and a little bit... It starts getting thinner. This part's definitely thinner over there, but we'll change that in a bit. And then you can bring this up, get to a point, rotate it, and then start right-clicking. So Control right-click, there you go, to get your points. And we slightly rotate it to match that. If I click there, it slightly goes over, but it will help with the alignment. There. Cool. And then this is an awkward shape here, right? Because you get your... So this This part here definitely should have come a little bit back like this. I think I'm the only one this live. Nice. Yeah, 3D modeling isn't particularly a very popular thing for people to watch. So you can do this. Dude, you just casually made an awesome looking katana. I will definitely try to model one after this. I know I'm not explaining everything, so I'm hoping like I know that it's going to be a little bit awkward to try to follow what I just showed you because you won't know all the shortcuts, but so you can merge those together. Oops. And then this last part, we need to pull this over like this. I'm going to put an extra edge loop here because we want this to be a little bit smoother here on its transition. And you can actually, if you ever have a part you want it to be smoother, select the edge loop by pushing Alt left click and it'll select it all the way around. And you push Control B and you'll smooth it like that. And you can scroll to make that much smoother transition. I'm only going to do a couple like that. If you can get your shape done with a low poly, you can then subdivide it later or add bevels later. If you start very high poly, you don't have that luxury. What we can actually do here now is, because I made all these extra edge loops, I can do our one over here and start sort of getting that shape blocked in. Like so. And that is basically the shape of the katana. Obviously this isn't sharp enough here, so what we could do now is grab all that edge. Not that part. Shift L to deselect that whole thingy. You can then squeeze. Wait, Z's that direction? Oh, global. S, Z, or Z. You can start scaling that direction to pinch it to make it look sharper. You don't necessarily have to make it an actual sharp edge when it comes to 3D unless you're getting really, really close to it. If we isolate, or if we hide this now, no, not that, this now. Night. Sorry, someone just went to bed. And then we can, what we can do now is, so you could mark this as sharp. So if we select this edge and mark sharp, it'll make that edge go not sharp apparently. Oh, has this got weighted? Turn off weighted. There you go. It'll make this edge go sharp. See that? So you can see that sharp. I instead am going to select that edge. And I'm going to Control B and bevel it. I'm going to bevel it like that and make a very... Oh, do I want to do that? I'm looking at it now. Or do I want to do another one like this? Yeah, that looks good. Just select that, separate that out, select it, and if I Control 1, we'll bevel it. Okay, so first thing we need to fix, I don't need these faces here. Like that. We're going to bevel it first. So bevel first. So that way we get this bevel here. We're going to tighten up that bevel or make another bevel. Oh no, so that's not a very good one. So instead, we're going to select that edge loop, select that edge loop. And we're going to bevel it manually. We also need to select this edge, bevel it manually just a little bit. Like so. I'm going to do an edge loop here. We're going to auto smooth. Oh, I see. I messed up. So when I did those bevels earlier, can I undo it? Can't quite undo it. It gets annoying. What we want to do is select those. Can I delete those edge loops? Right, cool. I need to select the entire thing, which I didn't do. That was a mistake on my part. So select the entire thing, including this. I just assumed it did select it. It's messed up the shape a little bit now, but mistakes happen when you're doing it, it's fine. Move vertex, spin that, cool. And make it so this curve's a bit better again. Cool. Uh-oh. Yeah. feel like coding would be so much more complicated than modeling, because coding you have to learn like a lot of stuff. It's weird because if you ask any of the programmers I know, they will say to you that art looks harder. So it's a very debated subject, really. So yes, like the entire edge loop. There we go, and then bevel. And then if I do this, you can see we've got that line there, and it's really hard to subdivide this one apparently. Oh no, what's going on here? Oh, weighted normals, probably why. There you go. Yeah, I need like a bevel here is a problem. There you go. Now we can subdivide it and we get an, almost. Subdivide it. There you go. And we get a nice smoother. So what that's doing, so this is why I said model it low poly, because what that's doing is if you look at the shape, unsubdivided, divided, it will smooth out those edges, right? So you can see going from sharp to smooth, sharp to smooth. One thing we could change is we kind of want that tip to be sharp. So you can either add an edge loop and pull it over, or... Oh wait, what is going on there? Apparently I've messed up anyway. There you go. It's because there's a point. It's like it went overly sharp. Sorry, I'm talking quietly because people have gone to bed. It looks like this edge, and then you do Shift E. You can sharpen it. I can sharpen the whole edge if I really want to, like that. So pull the whole thing out like this. So like that. We have this nice sharp katana. There you go. And then we want to line that up. There you go. What's the hardest thing I've made? Probably... If it will load. There you go. Probably this scene. I don't know how to controls, but I will learn for sure. That's cool, man. It's all about practice at the end of the day. The more you practice, the more... It's a puzzle game. The more you practice, the more you'll sort of be able to make... you'll be able to look at an object and be able to break it down, because again, when you look at any object, break it down into its separate components and then model those components, because you'll get much simpler geometry that way. If you instead try to make it one mesh, the geometry ends up really complex and you just spend a lot longer making the same thing but harder. So yeah, it's very important to separate them out, but it's just about the more objects you make, the more objects you look at in real life and you think about breaking them down and how to model them and the techniques involved, the quicker you'll just be able to make anything. I think with enough time I can literally make anything just because I've done it long enough. I'm not the best artist ever, like I said, I'm okay. A big part of what I'm bad at is I need to just spend longer doing things. So this is probably the hardest environment I made, because it was a lot. There's overlapping music. Hold on a minute. Oh, awesome. Remember, if you want, you can join the Discord and I announce when I'm streaming on there. You too. Bye. I never have much memories of actually making these environments. Like, I look at this and I know I made it, but I just don't particularly remember too much. It's just really interesting to re-see my own work. I also love piano music over any environment. I think it makes it look really makes it really feel emotional. But this scene took a long time. I was working at the same time, but there was so many, because all the interior is just made up, and I don't usually make things up, I usually use concept, so this is the scene I've made with the least concept. I don't really like this shot though. It's very basic and bland. Anyways, because people are in bed, I can't really talk very much, so I am going to finish streaming, and I will catch you guys next time. Doodles. Wee.